The giant of the game is absolutely correct. The big screens with the images of Sir Bobby Charlton away to the left and right. The measure of the man, of course, one Bobby Charlton. Only one Bobby Charlton. Aston Villa fans and West Ham fans singing that. We're not talking Manchester United fans. I know there'll be England fans inside the ground. And there will certainly be fans inside this stadium that I imagine will have been here and watched Sir Bobby Charlton grace this pitch and play fabulous football as he did up and down the country. He will be very, very sadly missed. We're at Old Trafford on Tuesday night for Coventry of Manchester United against FC Copenhagen, and that I know will also be an incredibly emotional football occasion. A welcome to our listeners across the globe on the BBC World Service. We're at Villa Park. 5 Live BBC Sounds, the BBC World Service. Aston Villa against West Ham in the Premier League is underway. Aston Villa in the claret and blue. They both can't play in claret and blue, so Aston Villa is the home team in those claret shirts with the light blue sleeves, white shorts and light blue socks. Early cross in from Luca Digne is headed away by the Moroccan Naif again. Lovely touch from Douglas Luiz. Ward-Prowse in with a challenge. Jared Bowen side foots a pass forward to Michail Antonio. West Ham are going to play on the break. That's what they love to do. That's what they're doing right now. Paquetá floats a high ball away to the right, and Michail Antonio is able to get onto it and has the skill to get past his man outside of his right foot. Ball into the box. Paquetá turns at the near post, lays it back. Blocked on the line by Alphonse Areola, and as you heard Clinton say, what a save, but the offside flag was up and it wouldn't have counted. Martinez, I beg your pardon, with the block.
No, I think it was offside when it first came in. I did think it, Antonio into Paquetá, but you are right, it's a fantastic save from Jared Bowen. Unbelievable save from Martinez, but he was offside, Paquetá.
Well, Emi Martinez looking really sharp at the start of the game. It wouldn't have counted. Villa 0, West Ham 0. Villa have the ball from the free kick. Emi Martinez then all in black. West Ham in change kit, white shirts. They're in the light blue shorts, a little bit of claret trim around the kit and white socks as well. And they're knocking the ball back into their own half. Aguerd plays it to his left. Emerson brings it in field. Visitors West Ham have started really well. Edson Alvarez side foots a pass. As soon as I say that, obviously they lose the ball. Matty Cash intercepts. Richard Stead is watching the Rugby League today. This is England against Tonga. Latest please, Richard.
30 seconds to go, 4 points in it. Late try for Tonga, making a nervy finish. Tolatau Kola going over in the corner. Izzy Katoa with the conversion. 4 points the difference, but Tonga, while I talk to you, have just knocked on. England will just last out.
Zaniolo, left-footed ball, was played in between Digne and Watkins, and neither of them could get there. So Fowles' clearance is half blocked. Ward-Prowse nips in, finds Bowen. Bowen's in the right back position, barged off the ball by Douglas Luiz, and that'll be a free kick for West Ham. So just before we get more thoughts from Clinton Morrison, let me give you the two teams. Aston Villa then, playing from right to left in this first half. Emi Martinez we've already mentioned in goal. Matty Cash, Ezri Konsa, Pau Torres and Luca Digne as the back four. John McGinn, Boubacar Kamara, Douglas Luiz, Nicolo Zaniolo, the Italian, across the midfield, and Moussa Diaby playing off Ollie Watkins. West Ham, the same team that drew 2-2 against Newcastle before the international break. That is Areola in goal, Sofal, Zuma, Aguerd and Emerson. Ward-Prowse and Alvarez in midfield. Bowen, Souček, Paquetá and Michail Antonio playing up top. What have you made of it so far, Clinton?
It's been good. Zaniola's getting into pockets, but he has to get his head up. Ollie Watkins is making some good runs. He's just delaying the pass, but it's a good football match. Exactly what I expected. Two teams that are in confident fashion at the moment.
Full-time whistle's just gone in the Rugby League. England have won that game, as Richard was telling us, getting tight at the end, but England have beaten Tonga by 22 points to 18. 3 minutes played at Villa Park. Little bit of sort of evening sunshine splashing its way across the lower tier of the Holt End away to our right. John McGinn with the shaven short hair burrowing his way forward across the halfway line. James Ward-Prowse wins the ball. McGinn goes tumbling. Villa fans felt it should have been a free kick. West Ham on the attack. Antonio's overrun it. Digne's there. Antonio comes charging in to try and win it back and barges into the back of Digne. And so Aston Villa get the free kick. It's Aston Villa 0, West Ham 0. Free kick will be taken by Pau Torres. So Torres and Konsa as the centre back partnership, which means Matty Cash, I know he's going to go bombing down that right-hand side, but occasionally you see him sort of starting the right wing role rather than the right back role. But Diego Carlos has dropped out today. Zaniolo's come into the team, so it just means a slight shuffle up for Villa. Martinez, their goalkeeper, on the ball, passes it out to Torres. Torres drives it forward with his left foot. Zuma climbs above Watkins to win the header. Watkins then stoops to try and chase that. Sofal's foot is high as he challenges for it. Watkins is okay, he didn't get kicked, but the free kick goes to Aston Villa.
Yeah, it's been a positive start from both teams. Really on the front foot, causing problem and trying to get the ball down and play. I think Antonio is clever. He's playing on Torres because he thinks he's got the beating on him because Cons is a good defender.
John McGinn looking for options in central midfield. He's just inside the West Ham half. Plays across to the Brazilian Douglas Luiz. Curls his pass onto the right foot of Moussa Diaby. Lovely cushioned layoff. Then the ball played forward to Watkins. Watkins looking for the run of Diaby. Cash is up there in support. Diaby keeps it though, turns over on the right-hand touchline. Cash comes in to win a tackle. He's helped out by Boubacar Kamara, who falls over and does get the decision this time in front of the travelling West Ham fans who are in that section of the ground opposite us. So they're along one side of the pitch, but it's on the opposite side of the pitch. So they're letting the referee know what they think of that decision, but the free kick does go to Aston Villa.
Yeah, I think it's the right decision. I do think there was, even though we're miles away, I still think it is the right decision. I think Kamara done ever so well there, and there was a slight contact from Paquetá.
So Villa free kick. Luca Digne comes across. He could whip one in with the left foot from the right flank. Douglas Luiz and he in conversation, just covering their mouths as they speak so as not to give away any trade secrets. Digne goes sprinting away down the right-hand side. Douglas Luiz doesn't use him, then curls the ball in low with his right foot, and Ward-Prowse is in the way. High header. Douglas Luiz dummies the control there, lets the ball go past his right foot, and that will be a throw-in for Villa, who scored 13 goals in 3 home games in the Premier League so far this season. Beat Everton 4-0, Crystal Palace 3-1 last time out. Beat Brighton 6-1. Cross in, thuds into the chest of Areola. Too close to the keeper at his near post, but I think he'll be delighted just to get his hands on the ball early on. It came at speed, he took it well. He bowls it out to Emerson. There's Paquetá, he's deep. Clever little disguise on the pass, finds Emerson again. He goes sprinting forward down the left, attacking intent. Souček looking for the longer ball over the top, but actually Souček himself, I think, might have been in the offside position, so we're going to go all the way back. And
that's what I was just about to say, Al. Look at Moyes in his the linesman's ears. Are you sure? And he's got that face like, really?
he's tiptoed over ever so gently. I think he probably gave him a little bit of a shock there as he leaned over and had a word in his ear. In the grey, dark grey West Ham tracksuit is David Moyes. The waterproof coat, but no rain falling. Sun is shining at Villa Park. 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the World Service, and we're 7 minutes in to this Premier League game this Sunday afternoon. Pau Torres, bit sloppy, playing out from the back. Ward-Prowse tries to float a pass to Paquetá, gets a second go. The headed clearance lands at his feet. Brilliant from Konza, just takes it past Ward-Prowse. Now John McGinn. Ward-Prowse tries to knock him off it. McGinn's too strong. Head down, charging forward. Now looks up. Sees Zaniolo in space on the left. The pass from wasn't quite good enough. It allowed Sofal to slide in and make the interception. It's out for a Villa throw. They take it quickly. Douglas Luiz onto the ball from the Digne throw. Rolls it across the West Ham half to McGinn. McGinn back to Douglas Luiz. Luiz finds McGinn again. 25 yards out. Looking for that cross into the far post. Diving header away. Falls at the feet of Ward-Prowse. And Paquetá's in a little bit of space. Left-hand side for West Ham inside his own half. Across to James Ward-Prowse. So Ward-Prowse sits a little deeper now for West Ham. Got on the score sheet early on in this season, a couple of games against Brighton and Manchester City, but you can see it's Souček, the man who's further forward from midfield. There's the ball up to Antonio. Offside flag stays down, and then he was looking to release Sofal down the right-hand side and just didn't get enough on the pass. Unai Emery's excited now, wagging his forefinger of his left hand, trying to get his Aston Villa team moving forward. Digne slowed it down and played back to Douglas Luiz.
That's where he has to be better, Antonio. He does all the, it's a good run, control, and then it's that final pass. It's a simple pass to Sofal, and they were in a great position. You saw David Moyes was really frustrated there.
Here's Diaby on the turn for Aston Villa. Nice control, speeding away down the right. Cash bombing past him, gets to the byline, tries to get the cross in. Challenged well by Emerson, cashes down on the floor behind the byline. West Ham have cleared it up to Paquetá. Paquetá has got Boubacar Kamara breathing down his neck, trying to hold him off, turns him, and then Kamara is penalised, and the referee mimics what he was doing, holds both arms as if he was holding Paquetá back from behind him, so that'll be a free kick for West Ham.
I don't want to go off about the game, but how many players here you got in your FPL team playing today now?
Oh, that's a really good question. I'm not a Bowen owner.
No,
I'm
me
not
neither.
a Ward-Prowse owner. I'm a Moussa Diaby owner, but
So
I'm not
am I.
an Ollie Watkins owner.
I'm a Watkins
Oh,
owner.
you see, that worries me. Now, Mikel Antonio into that Aston Villa penalty area, uses his strength. Bowen calling for it, floats it to the far post. Souček leaps and it's headed behind by Luka Digne. Is it, or is that going to be given as a goal kick and Souček got the last touch?
Yeah,
Assistant
it's a goal
referee
kick,
says goal kick.
Nah, yeah, it was good play. That's where Antonio is really good. He gets down that channel, does well, rolls it. It's a good ball to the back post. I think Luka Digne does just enough, because Souček, it is a mismatch at that back post.
Yeah. Now Souček is, as I say, making those forward runs again for West Ham. If you remember him in his first full season at the club, 10 goals he scored in the Premier League. He's got 2 in the last 2. And West Ham trying to create those matchups where he can win the ball in the air. Villa trying to play out, they've lost it. Here's Bowen, edge of the box, dribbling, trying to wriggle his way through a space, still going, and eventually Douglas Luiz gets back, gets a foot in, and again it goes behind for a goal kick because Bowen made the last touch, but Villa played themselves into trouble.
They did. They tried to play out from the back, and they're always looking for Douglas Luiz, but Zaniolo's movement wasn't good enough there.
This time quickly forward to John McGinn, and it's a lovely first touch from McGinn, just stuck to his left boot. Diaby's wide for him. Players making runs in the middle. Zaniolo and Watkins. Watkins has drifted to the far post. Comes back to Douglas Luiz. Onto the right foot. Curling shot. Brilliant save. That was headed for the top corner. And Areola flying to his left-hand side, but used that outside arm to get the full stretch, the right hand on it, and tips it behind for a corner.
It's fantastic save. I thought that's going in top corner. We've seen one the other night from Dalot where Wes Fodringham couldn't get on the end of it, but it's a great opportunity, great save from Areola.
Villa fans who've just seen it on the big screen are applauding the save from the opposition goalkeeper. West Ham 0, Liverpool 1, 10 minutes to go in the WSL. That game kicked off at 3 o'clock. Corner then for Villa. McGinn curling one to the far post, volleyed on target by Ezri Konsa, and ends up in the arms of Areola. So that is 2 decent saves, but 1 world-class save he made from the initial shot from Douglas Luiz. That other one just basically ended up in his hands.
Took him out of my fantasy team.
Who?
Areola.
Areola, did you? Yeah.
And put Turner in because I thought Forest might beat Luton. Oh, decisions.
You're obsessed with this
I
game now,
I am. I was never obsessed with it, but I am obsessed now.
Yeah.
You see yourself when you're working, cheering on the players that you want to do well.
I know. Oh, don't tell me about it. I've been obsessed. Been obsessed for years, which is why we do the podcast, Fantasy 606 podcast, out on BBC Sounds app every Thursday. And as I've said before, we'll get Clinton on that this season. Long ball forward from Paquetá is ambitious and straight into the arms of Emi Martinez. Results so far today in the WSL: Manchester United big winners away to Everton. That one finished Everton 0, Manchester United 5, and Chelsea beat Brighton by 4 goals to 2. Sports Extra tonight has full commentary of Bristol City against Arsenal at 6:45. And then in terms of the television highlights this evening, the women's football show on at 11:10 on BBC One tonight, and it's on half an hour later if you're watching up in Scotland. So that's on at 20 to midnight. Match of the day 2, BBC One at 10:30 tonight. Jason Mohammed and the team are here at Villa Park recording the show. It is the one Premier League game that's being played this afternoon. Digne heads the ball out for Aston Villa inside his own half, and Vladimir Sofal comes trotting forward, getting ready to take the throw for West Ham. 4 assists in his last 4 games. He's been a very valuable weapon for West Ham in recent weeks. You heard a couple of blasts on the whistle. That's because David Cooper was trying to force him back down the line. Bowen's shot, heading for the bottom corner. Not enough power. Martinez gets down and makes a pretty comfortable save. Yeah,
it's a good snapshot from Bowen. Good movement from the throw-on, and really good, really unlucky there.
Oh, looking for the link-up on the halfway line. The ball was up to Watkins. He tried to turn it round the corner to Diaby. He couldn't see where he was, and Diaby just wasn't quite where he thought he was going to be. West Ham have the ball back, but that is a partnership that has built very nicely at the start of this season for Aston Villa.
Spot on now. They're both clever. Diaby, when he came to Aston Villa, I thought it'd be a good signing. I've seen him play a lot in the Bundesliga, and he's lively. He can score goals. He can take people on.
Big investment from Aston Villa in him. £52 million from Bayer Leverkusen. Couple of goals already so far this season, but when he's not scoring, Ollie Watkins has been. Kurt Zouma plays across the face of his own penalty area to Agard. Agard here to Emerson. Emerson tries to toe it past McGinn. There's a 50-50 between Cash and Emerson, and the referee says that is going to be an Aston Villa throw, much to the delight of the home fans. It's thrown to McGinn. McGinn with that trusty left foot knocks a meaty pass back to the halfway line. Pau Torres at walking pace. Little 1-2 with Douglas Luiz just inside the West Ham half, coming up to 15 minutes played in the first half, and it's still Villa 0, West Ham 0. Clinton Morrison has promised goals, and I believe in you, Clinton.
Yeah, you have to. They're both teams that have been scoring goals.
Well, the last time you said that, I was doing a game with you. Newcastle stuck 8. Sheffield United.
Hopefully we can get that.
Yeah. Here's Torres. Torres looking for a clever little ball to find Deeney. He's into the penalty area on the left. Now the cut back into the box. Ward-Prowse is there to block. Gets a foot on it, and it goes out for a throw into Villa.
Really good play from Torres. He's a ball-playing centre-half, and a good run from Luca Deeney, who's been in good form for Villa this season, but good defending from Ward-Prowse.
Luiz to McGinn. McGinn turns. Plays it back to Kamara. Kamara to McGinn. First time ball. Diaby. Edge of the West Ham box, looking for Watkins. First touch. Oh, he's dragged it wide. I was sure that was going to end up in the bottom corner. He was onside. It seemed too easy for Diaby to find him. There he was, all alone. First touch was great. He just couldn't finish it.
He's got to score. To be fair, the pick out from Diaby is fantastic. His first touch, you're right, Ali, is brilliant, to be fair. Magnificent. But all the players and the fans get behind him. He's got to be scoring, though. He drags it. His touch is fantastic, and then he drags it. Yeah, he completely drags it. Great opportunity.
Right, West Ham have got a bit confused with their goal kick, and they've rolled the ball straight out of play, and it's gone out for an Aston Villa throw. Watkins was alert to that, came racing across. He's received it from the throw, and Villa trying to put West Ham back under pressure. Here's Diaby now wide on the left. Zaniolo makes a little run ahead of him, but instead the ball's played back to Luiz. Luiz with a low pass across to Ezri Konsa, who's got white strapping wrapped tightly around his right hand. Here's Matty Cash, Polish international, of course. Hair slicked back, wide right for Villa, to Kamara. Back they play to Konsa, across it comes to Pau Torres. Deeney's got a bit of space to work with on the left if he gets it. Torres goes through the middle, looking for that one over the top to Watkins, and it's very calmly nodded back to Areola by Naif Agard. Areola sprints out to the edge of the box. Good delivery from him. Bowls it out to Paquetá, looking for Antonio. Konsa comes racing across. Just beats Antonio to it. Good physical battle between those two. Antonio's had to foul in. Referee was trying to play advantage, but Aston Villa in the end get the free kick. I was sitting alongside former Villa boss Dean Smith, who's here today actually, Clinton, a few weeks ago, who was just talking to me a bit about how highly he rates Ezri Konsa and the possibility of him becoming a full England international. How others possibly get sort of more praise and press than him, but actually quietly and steadily he's becoming a very, very good defender.
I agree. If he keeps his performances high, surely Gareth Southgate's got to be looking at him. I think he's been in outstanding form for the last 2 or 3 years, most definitely. So he's just got to keep going and keep believing in himself.
Clinton Morrison with us on 5 Live, BBC Sounds, the BBC World Service. 17 minutes gone in the first half. Here is Konsa just talking about him. Strokes the pass into McGinn.
He does that brilliant.
Oh, he does, doesn't he? Holding off Alvarez, who tried to find a way around him. Now Diaby's released on the right, looking for Watkins again. Zouma slides in, gets a foot on the ball into Villa corner.
He's so strong, John McGinn. Once he backs into you, you can't get the ball off him. He just knocks Alvarez onto the floor, and it's a great ball to Diaby, but really good defending there from Zouma.
They joke, don't they, about the size of John McGinn's posterior, shall we say, and how he uses his body, Clinton.
I was the same, but I didn't want to say it. But yeah, I had that. It's quite big, and I used to back into people and use it. Use it to your advantage. They can't get round you there.
Absolutely right. Villa 0, West Ham 0. Corner for Aston Villa. Luiz just delays and then clips one back to the edge of the box. Here's Diaby, left-footed, tries the shot. Bowen comes flying out and blocks the shot.
That typifies Jared Bowen. That's an attacking player. They don't like to usually defend. He throws himself. It's a great block, and you're right, he might have done a bit of damage there.
Do you know, sometimes, Clinton, when players do that, you can, just from the sheer impact of ball on leg, can't you? You could, I don't know, knee or... I think he's just rubbing the inside of his right knee. Yeah, jarred it, exactly. Reminds me of the charge down of the conversion from Cheslin Kobe, wasn't it? The South African who charged down the Frenchman's conversion in the World Cup quarterfinals. It was the footballing equivalent of that, I think.
Frustrating yesterday for England, wasn't it?
Oh, don't.
Yeah.
Watkins. Oh, clever 1-2 with Zaniolo. Watkins again, good sliding challenge on him. The danger's not clear yet, though. Digne crosses that ball in. Aguerd's there to head it away. Kamara reads it first for Aston Villa. Aston Villa on top in the game at the moment.
They are on top, and you can see West Ham are trying to stay in their shape, but they're finding little pockets. Diaby, McGinn, Zaniolo, and they're causing problems. And Ollie Watkins got good movement at the moment.
Kamara comes bustling forward. Little chip ball. Aguerd reads it, runs in, volleys it behind for another Aston Villa corner. Good spell of pressure this from Aston Villa. Their home form we've talked about, and you can see why when they're playing like this. Some of the link-up play, actually, Watkins and the runners off him has been really good.
It has. It's been brilliant.
So, corner will come in from the right, from the left boot of John McGinn. Douglas Luiz lurks deep on the edge of the area. Plenty of white-shirted West Ham players, edge of the 6-yard box. High swinging delivery to the far post. Headed down, and then Konza's there again.
It's a good pass.
Slices the ball. It was an attempt at a shot, and it ends up as a pass out wide to McGinn. Here's Diaby's ball into the far post. Headed up in the air by Sofal, wins the second header, falls to Digne, and then the offside flag is up from that Diaby. Is it? No, it's gone behind, actually.
Yeah, give a
for
corner.
another corner.
Yeah, you're right.
From the first
good
Sofal
spot,
header,
mate.
yeah.
Very good spot.
I think that was you, actually, Clinton.
Nah, you got the spot. Don't worry about that. It was you.
You're too kind. I'll give you the assist.
All right, love it. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you'll know, as a fantasy football manager, 3 points for the assist. Exactly. 20 minutes gone first half. Another corner for Aston Villa, attacking the goal. To our left, tall north stand behind. Villa fans fall silent in expectation. Luiz with the delivery, again a far post delivery. Watkins gets up, heads it back across goal. Ward-Prowse heads a high one away. Oh, Antonio miscues a header. Aguerd stoops, tried to head it, the ball bounced into his chest. Paquetá shows a real bit of composure under pressure, and now West Ham finally able to release the shackles, cross the halfway line. Their Mexican international Edson Alvarez plays it out to the left. Here's Antonio, right-footed low cross. Konza's there, stabs a clearance away up towards the halfway line. Aguerd is able to control. Paquetá side foots one out to Emerson on the left. They try and link up and play a 1-2. Paquetá's ball back to Emerson's good. Cross in, Souček miscues on the volley. Well worked by West Ham. Just shows you that the danger that they possess as well. Can't go to sleep on West Ham. Douglas Luiz, strong runner with the ball. No challenge on him as yet. He's made 10 yards into the West Ham half on the left. Then he plays back to McGinn in central midfield.
Forward. So it's slow from Kamara there. He lets Emerson get back into it. I'm all for keeping the ball, but you got to do it with a purpose to get forward quicker.
Yeah, slowed down again, and West Ham have got everyone behind the ball. Luiz forward to Zaniolo. Zaniolo holds off Ward-Prowse, plays it out to Digne. Digne, pacey cross, and Areola dives on it and grabs it in the middle of his 6-yard box. What have you seen, Clinton?
I seen Matty Cash. I didn't see him. He was in that far corner. I think he tried to make the block from Emerson and maybe just jarred his ankle, but he was just getting back up to his feet.
Midway through the first half, packed Villa Park. Aston Villa 0, West Ham 0 so far. Here's Aguerd, not quite sure what to do with the ball. Sees Alvarez ahead of him, plays it to him. Paquetá, West Ham love him getting on it in those spots. And West Ham have made it up towards the halfway line. Here's Alvarez. Alvarez back to Paquetá.
He's a player, right?
He is, isn't he? Just jinks his way so easily past Kamara. Yeah. He's got a handful of his shirt, but they keep going, West Ham. Emerson rolls it into the feet of Souček, outside of his right foot. That's just beyond Paquetá, who made the run forward this time. Now it's with McGinn, challenging quickly on McGinn from Edson Alvarez. It's a foul. That'll be a free kick for Aston Villa.
He's a joy to watch, isn't he, Paquetá? Even better when you watch him live. Obviously, you see a lot of games on TV and that, but he's fantastic. He makes the game look so easy.
He really does. Here's Moussa Diaby for Aston Villa, just jogging gently forward inside the West Ham half. They're not worried about him just yet. Matty Cash seems to have rubbed off the knock. Low pass across to Konza. Konza forward to Douglas Luiz, straight back to Konza. Here's Kamara. Kamara's pass finds Matty Cash, and the move starts to pick up a little bit more pace. McGinn, incisive pass through to Zaniolo, quickly wide to Digne on the left-hand side. The number 12 for Aston Villa, back to Pau Torres. Villa trying to move West Ham around here. Luiz He's forced back to the halfway line though. Konza, support from Kamara to his right. Matty Cash is calling for it, but it goes straight up the middle of the pitch to Diaby. Diaby goes running away from Aged, who's just been pulled out of the central defence for a second. Back he goes. Luiz whips the low pass out to the left. Lots of Villa possession here. Digne to Zaniolo. Zaniolo with his left foot strokes a beautiful pass. Corner of the area. Matty Cash on the right. Just flicks a right foot over the ball, plays it back here to Kamara. Very patient build-up this from Villa.
Yeah, they got a good shape, West Ham. Look at Antonio. They've got no one up the field, so everything's in front of them.
Pau Torres plays back to Konza. So Villa have sort of been in twice and had to come back out twice. Now they're trying to go back in with a longer ball over the top. Emerson's got it covered. Closed down by Cash. Clears with his left foot, and Aston Villa in the end win the throw. One of the stats, Clinton, I read ahead of the game, that I think other than Luton, in terms of sort of average possession in a game, West Ham are the second lowest in the Premier League. So it's only Luton who have less possession.
Does that surprise you? It doesn't surprise me because that's how David Moyes and his teams are. But with the players that they've got, you'd think they'd have more possession.
True.
They've got good footballers in that midfield.
Paquetá, that you've been talking
James
about.
Ward-Prowse, Alvarez.
Yeah.
These are all players that want to express and get on the ball, but I just think that's how David Moyes sets his teams up to be hard to beat, and again play on the counter-attack. They have a threat with Bowen and Antonio. And
actually, if you look at their run of fixtures at the start of this season, they have played the likes of Brighton, Manchester City, Liverpool, etc., where actually that would probably work better for them than
definitely
against other teams. Working so far today, but it is still 0-0. 20 minutes remaining in the first half. I've heard the West Ham fans just teasing the Aston Villa fans. Shall we sing a song for you?
It's a bit quiet here.
It does drop quiet, doesn't it?
It's quiet. It's a bit quiet. I think they've all noticed I'm here. That's why it's gone quiet.
The former Birmingham City and Coventry City striker. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Do you ever get any stick here?
Sometimes. Yeah. No, not now. I used to do it 2 or 3 years ago, but yeah.
I should know this, Clinton. Have you scored here for?
Yeah. End we beat them 2-0.
Oh my goodness.
I went and shushed the fans. They did not like me at all, but oh well, it's one of those things.
Clinton making friends.
As you do.
As always. The former
I think they've got over it now though, Al.
Oh, just about.
Yeah.
Just about. Football fans have very long memories, Clinton. Martinez clears with his right foot. Zaniolo is backing into Sofal, but the free kick goes Zaniolo's way. Yeah, Sofal saying he's backing into me, what can I do? David Cooch shakes his head and says free kick Villa. They take it quickly. Diaby, central position, 25 yards out, hits it with his right foot, drags it, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's a good chance to be fair. He can score with both feet, but I think he favours his left foot. But good quick thinking from Douglas Lees. He sees Diaby, and he started the game well, Diaby, into little pockets, causing a lot of problems for West Ham at the moment.
So goal kick West Ham. They made an absolute pig's ear of this last time and knocked it straight out of play for a throw. Zuma will take it, and Sofal is there. Ironic cheers from the Villa fans because that's a poor clearance, I think, from Sofal. Yeah, Kamara's onto it, chests it down. What can Villa do with it? McGinn towards Zaniolo. Velvet first touch. 2 white shirts in front of him. Nutmeg Sofal. Here he is. Cross comes in. Too close to Areola. Catches it in front of Watkins. Great skill to get in position to hit the cross.
He can play Zaniola. He's a talented individual. He's got ability. But yeah, great little nutmeg on Sofal. That's probably why West Ham don't try and play out from the back. Sofal gets the ball and just gives it straight back. So sometimes you have to play to your strengths.
Yeah. Zaniolo, the 24-year-old Italian international on loan from Galatasaray at Villa this season. West Ham are giving it away again. Villa will take that all day long. Here's Zaniolo. Long way out, that's awful. Miles underneath it and miles over the bar.
It's football, isn't it? You know when you praise someone and say they've done well, and you can tell there he's about 35 yards out. His technique, he's never going to be able to do that because he's leaning back. That was one of my finishes out. Only in training though.
The look on Unai Emery's face says it all. He's just thinking, look, don't do that. There's no need to do that.
There's no need. Just keep it.
Yeah. This piece, I've mentioned it a couple of times actually. Unai Emery, it's the first sort of proper sit-down interview he's given since taking over as Villa manager a year ago. Gave it to the Sunday Times and Jonathan Norcross. There's some great lines in it. I'll read one out to you in a second as well, which is what he said to the players when he first arrived. I think you'll like it, Clinton. I'll give it to you in a second when we get a break in play. 28 minutes gone in the first half. Villa 0, West Ham 0. Digne trying to curl one down the left-hand touchline. Sofal intercepts. Alvarez tries to just glide it round the corner to Paquetá, and Villa turn it into a counter-attack. Diaby knocks it past Watkins, but Watkins has got pace to catch that ball on the left-hand side. Down by the corner flag, right in front of our commentary position here at Villa Park. Gives it to Zaniolo. Watkins making ground into the area. Zaniolo Again onto that left foot. There's the cutback. Touch from Watkins. Lays it off. Douglas Luiz. Goal! Alphonse Areola got a right hand to the ball. I think he was partially unsighted. Douglas Luiz drives it low and true, and Aston Villa rocking and rolling at Villa Park. They lead West Ham by 1-0.
Yeah, it was coming, to be fair. It was coming. They were playing good intricate football, and it was good play. It was good play from Zaniola. He played it to Watkins. Everyone's telling him to shoot. Cuts it back to Douglas Luiz, and he drills it. Areola gets a touch on it. I can't see, maybe should he have saved it, but I'm going to give huge credit to Douglas Luiz. Good strike. He's been outstanding this season.
Let's have a look on the monitor, Clinton, because my initial reaction, and I know it's so easy to say sitting up here, was he's got a hand to that. Should it have been a stronger hand? Should he have palmed it round the post? You're right, Douglas Luiz hit it well. You have a look as this plays out on the monitor. The two teams marching back to the centre circle for the game to get back underway.
Oh yeah, you know why? He should save it, but he sees it late.
Right.
Because this angle, I think from this angle you'll see it, but I'm trying to maybe do him a bit of service here because he has started well, but he does see it late. But once it looks like it goes, no, he should do better.
I think he should.
He should do better. He should do better. Yeah, it's a goalkeeping error, but credit Douglas Luiz.
That's a former international striker and a commentator who's never played the game.
You're right, because Ward-Prowse gets there and lifts his foot up, and then he sees Jared Bowen come across. But once you get your hand to it, you should save it.
Villa 1, West Ham 0. David Luiz, there's a good stat from our producer Rob Schofield today. 6 goals in his last 6 games at Villa Park. Does take penalties, so that's sort of
that's right, yes,
but still, as we saw there, possesses a fierce shot with his right foot, although we feel that Areola possibly should have done better. Check for yourselves, match of the day 2, BBC 1 half-10. West Ham try to respond. Jared Bowen, pass intercepted by Pau Torres. Here's Ward-Prowse. Little ball to his left to Antonio, tries to curl a cross in. Cash blocks it at close range. John McGinn's back there to win a header. Here's Edson Alvarez. Chasing is Diaby. Villa trying to win it in their own half. I think they're going to get the throw. No, they're not. That was McGinn on Antonio. Last touch apparently came off John McGinn. So Villa leading 1-0. 3 wins out of 3 so far this season in the Premier League. They've won their last 10 home games in the Premier League, and look at the confidence flooding through the team as they pour forward again. Diaby to Watkins. Watkins! Rifles the side netting.
I think he must save it then, or there's a deflection. But Diaby and Watkins and Zaniola, they're causing a lot of problems. It's good play between Diaby and Watkins. They're looking for each other, and I think it might either be a save from Areola watching a replay or deflection of Kurt Zouma. Save Areola.
Save Areola. Yeah. Let's have a look again from this angle. Entirely sure whether it was going in. Watkins, I'm not sure. Might have clipped the outside of the post, but Areola couldn't be certain of that. Got fingertips to it, and it rippled the side netting, which is why half the stadium, I think, possibly thought that Villa had got a second. They lead by 1-0. Another corner for them coming in from the right. Douglas Luiz, the goal scorer, with the delivery. Not the best from him, headed away by Emerson. Diaby volleys it forward. Konza turns it round the corner. John McGinn is there. Flag stays down. Here's McGinn. His shot takes a wicked deflection. The ball spins up in the air. Then the flag goes up for the offside.
That just annoys me. Why you take? I know they have to wait in case it goes in and they get it wrong, but we can all see here he was miles offside. Well, let's have a look on this replay. Oh boy, yeah, look.
He is miles offside, isn't he? He is miles offside. Yeah. Aston Villa have only ever won 4 games in a row at home at the start of a Premier League season once before, back in 98-99 under John Gregory. That is what they are trying to do today. West Ham 1, Liverpool 1. That's a 95th minute equaliser from West Ham in the WSL. It's a full-time score as well. That's finished. West Ham 1, Liverpool 1 in the WSL, and West Ham with a 95th minute equaliser. Plenty of time to go for West Ham's men in this game, but they're trailing Aston Villa by 1-0. Zaniolo, clever skills, flicks the ball up to himself. Paquetá says, anything you can do.
I can do better.
Oh wow, that was 2 keepy ups, a little flicked header, and away we go.
He says, Zaniolo, you can't come to my party.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Brilliant from Paquetá. So West Ham trailing by 1-0. Again, long diagonal, looking for Jared Bowen. Digne stretches, gets a foot on the ball. Bowen tries to take it past him. Digne slides in. Last touch comes off Bowen, according to the assistant referee, who was right there. David Moyes. Can't believe David Moyes is not a big fan.
The linesman at the
our
moment.
Assistant referee
He will
way
not
to
be
our
on his Christmas card list, will
he
he?
will not. 12 minutes remaining in the first half. Aston Villa lead West Ham by 1-0. Martinez, Villa's keeper, out to Digne. Villa Park falls silent again. Louise, nice first touch. Knew Digne was there. First time ball found him on the left. Just touch, move and go from Villa at the moment. Then Kamara just glides past Paquetá. Diaby's got his hand up in front of us wide on the left. Kamara's in the inside right channel, just inside the West Ham half. He's found Zaniolo. Zaniolo is fouled by Ward-Prowse, and that's a free kick for Aston Villa, 25 yards out, in a perfect shooting position. Maybe a little bit further back, actually, than I thought initially.
Yeah, but you know what it is? Zaniolo and Diaby are getting to little areas and pockets where Alvarez is thinking, should I go mark, or Zuma again should mark, but they got to deal with Ollie Watkins. So the movement from Aston Villa's front three at the moment has been outstanding.
Yeah. Right, big team meeting around the free kick here. Douglas Luiz involved, Ollie Watkins involved, Ezri Konsa involved, but they've left
Diaby or Luca Digne. Why? If you're thinking if you're Diaby and you're striker, you'd be in the box. So
yeah,
Digne
has got a
good left foot, but does this favour the left foot? That's what I'm thinking.
Okay,
but
let's see.
You could be right, Al.
10 minutes remaining in the first half. Aston Villa on top, leading by 1-0. Win today would put them on 19 points and right up there, chasing those top four. Manchester City and Arsenal both on 21. Liverpool and Tottenham both on 20. Aston Villa with the European football to play this season as well. Whistle blows. What have we got going on here?
Something free kick.
Yeah, something works. So Digne runs away. Douglas Luiz, slide pass into the edge of the area, laid off. McGinn drives it and drags it well wide for a goal kick. But I like the invention.
I knew there was something because I was thinking he's not running up quick enough, is it? But yeah, it's a well worked free kick, ever so well. Good touch, and McGinn would be disappointed he's not really hit the target there.
Free kicks like the one that the Netherlands scored with in Qatar. Was that against Argentina?
Argentina, you're right.
Weghorst ended up finishing that off, and the one I always think of as well is the one that caught England out in World Cup '98, the Argentina one themselves, who worked a clever one where England were expecting the shot and they played it to the right.
You always got to keep thinking. Yeah. And there's the set piece coach that we can see.
Yeah.
They do have them now.
And he's probably thinking, look, if John McGinn could shoot on target, then I'm getting a pat on the back.
Or a pay rise.
Last 10 minutes of the first half. 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the World Service. There is a 6:06 tonight, by the way, that follows up. Lines will be open from half-time onwards. Number to dial 08085 909 693 to have your say with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage. I know Chris today is up in Edinburgh, actually, taking the calls.
Yeah, I did see him earlier on my TV.
Did you? Yeah. Hearts 1, Celtic 4. He was out today. We had commentary of that earlier on today. Celtic have gone 7 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership, but Philippe Clement, the Rangers boss, new Rangers boss, starting with a big win against Hibs yesterday. In the Scottish Women's Premiership, by the way, today there was an Old Firm derby and Rangers won it away from home. Celtic won, Rangers 2, so they go a point ahead of Celtic at the top of that table. Hibs 8, Hamilton 1, the other scoreline in that division today. Here's McGinn. Last time Clinton and I were together, we saw Newcastle score 8.
From 8 different scorers as well.
That's right. Yeah.
That would be a question.
It will be. It will be, absolutely. Cash playing the ball back to Konsa. Wide it goes to Diaby. Clever turn from him. Looking to shake off the attentions of Edson Alvarez.
He's lively.
Oh, he's good, isn't he?
Yeah. He's
great
good.
Balance and agility. Martinez. This is Emi Martinez, Villa's goalkeeper. Ball under the studs of his right boot, just bouncing backwards on his left foot, and then plays it to Konsa. Wide it goes to Cash. Cash to Kamara. That's a miscue from Boubacar Kamara. Paquetá, pacey pass. Souček, one touch, then hits the shot on the bounce, and it gets blocked, and it goes behind for a West Ham corner.
Yeah, I'm all for sometimes playing out from the back, Al, but sometimes you can overplay. Comes into camera there, just hook it around the corner up to Watkins, but he's trying little intricate passes.
Dink one, yeah. So West Ham corner, attacking the Holt end, away to our right. Giant cavernous stand that looms up behind that goal. Loads of players clustered around Emi Martinez, the Villa goalkeeper. He looks unflustered and unbothered. Michail Antonio almost treading on his toes in there. Ward-Prowse with the delivery, real pace, zipped in to the near post. bounces in front of Alvarez on the edge of the box. Now, was that a hand stuck out by Konza? Yeah, the referee says you've dived in and you've got your arms outstretched. That is going to be a free kick on the edge of the penalty area. And you know who, JWP, is there for West Ham.
And what is his record? He's got a record, hasn't he?
Yes, I mentioned this to you today. So the next one he scores will be...
Watching that, look.
Go on.
Is he on the line, Konza? Just outside the box.
Well, they'll look.
They will look.
They will look. They're setting up for the free kick.
Yeah,
but the next one he scores will be his 18th in the Premier League, and that will equal a certain David Beckham, if and when it comes. So at the moment,
they're checking.
Yeah, they are checking, Clinton. Great spot from you. Is this going to be a penalty? I think that's outside.
I think he's just outside. Yeah, he's just outside.
Look.
Handball there.
That's
look,
outside.
Yeah, he's just outside.
Yeah, his entire body. Fans now being told that they're checking this just as to where the ball actually hit his arm. It's interesting because from the different angles we're getting, Clinton, it's almost one where you need
then that one looks like it's on the line.
Exactly.
And that's the shoulder, but
well,
must be checked complete because
we'll let them do their work. Well, I'm not sure it is at the moment.
No, because the referee's getting
decision, no penalty.
Outside the penalty area. Yeah. They had to look. It was close, but it was outside the box. The angle we saw eventually told you that. So
but
now,
let me tell you something, Al. This is just like having a penalty.
Well, it can be, can't it?
It can be, can't it?
And actually almost more complicated for the goalkeeper because he's got to line the wall up and what have you, and there could be other distractions here. So 4-man wall for Aston Villa. Fella doing the draft excluded job behind the wall as well, just in case Ward-Prowse decides to go clever. The wall jumps. Paquetá, I'm sure, would fancy a strike as well. I mean, that's another thing they've got in the locker. Dummy the Ward-Prowse one and give it to Paquetá. It's a real delay ahead of this free kick. Ward-Prowse has still got the ball in his hands. What's David Coote waiting for here? I'm not sure.
No, I usually... Come on, David.
Eventually we're going to get going.
I think, you know what they're saying? Villa not happy. Ward-Prowse has pulled the ball back. It was on the... look, it's right on the edge of the box.
Yes.
And he's pulled it back like 5 yards, so it's easier for him to get up and over.
Yes, you're right. He's come back 2 yards, and that's what Villa are complaining about. Right. Seen this so many times before. West Ham now complaining about the Aston Villa wall. Anyway, Ward-Prowse steps up and it glances the top of that wall, and a huge roar rips around Villa Park to celebrate the fact that their goal survives. The ball goes out for a throw-in to West Ham wide on the right. And that's the thing sometimes with the Ward-Prowse free kicks. You give it all the build-up, and then obviously
you know what?
Get the
if it's 5 or 10 yards further back, I think he wants it 5 or... That's why they were moaning. So he can get up and over.
John McGinn was the unfortunate fellow who had to do the draft excluded job. Long throw in from Sofal, header away from Digne, volleyed back by Ward-Prowse, attempted bicycle kick in the box by Paquetá, sent it miles off target, and Cash has kept that in play and immediately fires a long ball downfield for Diaby to chase. Can he keep this in? Wide on the right, he can. Villa sensing an opportunity. Diaby looking for the cross in. Watkins will stretch, toes it back here to McGinn. McGinn slides in. Souček chased all the way back for West Ham and made the tackle and plays it back to Areola. Good ball forward from Areola. Clever pass from Paquetá. Forward to Ward-Prowse. Little 1-2 with Jarrod Bowen. Fabulous end-to-end football at the moment at Villa Park. Villa leading 1-0, but here come West Ham. Ward-Prowse wide to the left. Antonio, ball at his feet. Matty Cash tucks the arms behind the back. Antonio fires the cross in from the left, slices it into the side netting, and David Moyes turns round in disgust. Couple of minutes remaining in the first half, and it's Villa 1, West Ham 0.
Yeah, he's in a good position there, Mikel Antonio. Once he squares him up, if you try and get a corner or something, you've got to really be hitting the target. And that Paquetá, it was a chance, to be fair. He tried to over a kick. He was onside. He probably could have took a touch there, huh?
Mikel Antonio was coming back, wasn't he, from the offside position? But I wouldn't necessarily say he was involved there. He wasn't in the goalkeeper's eye line, so that may well have counted. Oh, that's brilliant from Bowen, tracking back to take the ball off Digne. Just inside the West Ham half. Bowen's then caught by Digne. Referee wants to play advantage. Edson Alvarez runs away from Zaniolo. Bowen not involved in the attack. He's hurt his left foot here. Slowly picks himself up. West Ham keep going.
Having a little spell here, Al.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Alvarez. Zuma calls for it, but he's deep. Alvarez wants to go forward. Gives it to Paquetá, the Brazilian. Wide it goes to the Italian Emerson. Emerson teasing Cash with the ball just in front of him. Tries to play it through Cash's legs. Kamara steps in to clear for Aston Villa. Ends up in the West Ham half. 90 seconds of the first half remaining, plus added time. Two teams separated by the Douglas Luiz low right-footed strike. that Areola got a hand to but couldn't keep out of the West Ham net. Here is Areola. He's in a mixture of yellows this afternoon, so it's sort of highlighter pen yellow to the main body of shirt and socks, but darker yellow on the arms and shorts. Sofal wide on the right. Sofal beats Zaniolo. Cross comes in and Martinez dives down at his near post and grabs it.
Yeah, and Ward-Prowse is begging him to give it back to him on the edge of the box, and it probably was the better, but it's a great ball from Aguirre. I'm telling you, that's what Sofal has to do. We haven't seen him doing it. Zaniolo, strikers, you don't want to be chasing fullback, so that's why he has to keep making that run. Good hands from Martinez.
5 Live, BBC Sounds, the BBC World Service this afternoon. Aston Villa 1, West Ham 0. 6:06 on the way after us. Then after 6:06, the US Grand Prix in full at 8 o'clock this evening. Emerson, attacking position down by the byline. Cross comes in, headed away by Digne. Only as far as Edson Alvarez. Number 19 for West Ham, Ward-Prowse. Clips a pass out to the right. Alvarez was caught. Play continues. Sofal's cross in. Oh, it's a clever flick from Ward-Prowse. Didn't find a teammate. Douglas Luiz clears. Suddenly it's 2-on-2 for Villa. Diaby's got real pace. Steaming away down the left. Zuma's trying to get back. Watkins makes the run in the middle. Still Diaby. Cross comes in. McGinn. Oh. Challenged by Paquetá, sort of bumped into by Paquetá, goes down. Referee was right there, says no penalty.
Yeah, I think he gets it. Diaby should take Zuma on there. I'm thinking, go on. You've got him one-on-one there. Go and take him into the box. He ain't going to want to touch you.
2 minutes added time at the end of the first half. And Unai Emery, slow down. Both arms out wide. Slow down. They've given the ball away, and Emery goes absolutely berserk down on the touchline in front of us. What on earth are you doing, he says to Douglas Luiz, and he's stomping around like a petulant child. Ball floated over the top. Antonio chases, but it's beyond him and into the arms of Emi Martinez.
It's probably his only pass he's given away though, but I understand.
Zaniolo suddenly on the attack for Villa. Out to Diaby on the left. Back to Douglas Luiz. 10 yards inside the West Ham half. Villa leading West Ham by 1-0. And now they do slow it down at the behest of their manager.
Because his hands, look, he wants them to slow it down, slow it down.
Arms up in the air. Digne plays it back to Pau Torres, and they've listened to him now.
They have.
They've gone back to Emi Martinez. Unai Emery wants a 1-0 lead at half-time. Get him in. We'll have a chat, and we'll go again in the second half. Heading for an 11th home win in a row in the Premier League. If you think about that great Aston Villa team back in the early 80s, the one that won the European Cup in 1982, they once won 13 home league games in a row under Tony Barton. That was in the old Division 1 back in 1983. So this current Villa crop are not too far away from that, but still plenty of football to be played in this game. Digne making ground down the left. Diaby again full of lovely little movement and touches, lays it off to Zaniolo. Zaniolo again just inside the West Ham half to Luiz. Loads of space on the right for Villa to work with if they want. They do. Kamara delays putting the ball forward. McGinn, first time pass to Zaniolo just outside the box in the inside right channel. Zaniolo lays it off to McGinn. This time he goes wider right to Cash. Cash back to Kamara. Kamara to Cash, and they're going to move away from goal, and they're not going to attempt anything on goal in the closing seconds of the first half, because the half-time whistle blows and Unai Emery doesn't look entirely satisfied, but his team are ahead. He goes stomping off down the touchline in front of us. Douglas Luiz with the goal, Clinton Morrison. An enjoyable first half as we expected.
Yeah, and I think Villa probably shaded that first half. West Ham came into it in the last 10 minutes, but I think Villa have probably been the better team, creating chances. Ollie Watkins had a golden opportunity, so I think 1-0 is a fair result, but West Ham do have Mohamed Kudus and Ben Rama that they can bring off the bench to make a difference in this game.
That's a really good point. Mohamed Kudus, who came off the bench in the last game for them and scored the 89th minute equaliser against Newcastle. Clinton has a very tempting bowl of confectionery.
Not just for you, Al.
That he's collected from the press room.
I'd take it from the press room here, because they don't like giving me anything at Villa, being ex-Birmingham, and I'm sharing it with the 4 people that we have with us.
Absolutely right. We'll get stuck into that. We'll hand you back to Steve Crossman. Villa leading West Ham by 1-0.
Well, am I allowed to ask any questions, Ali, or what?
Yeah, I think we got time for one.
Oh, that's very kind of you. That's very kind of you. I was absolutely astonished, Clinton, to hear that Douglas Luiz has now scored in 6 consecutive Aston Villa home games in the Premier League.
Rob, our producer, told us that.
Of course he did. He always knows that kind of stuff. But that's an amazing thing for him to have added to what he can offer, those goals.
Yeah, because usually he's a holding midfielder, but Ali made a good point. He is now the penalty taker, so I think a lot of them are penalties. But his goal today was a great strike from the edge of the box, so we think about him being the holding midfielder and everything going through him. But I think the way Unai Emery's team set out, they're so fluent in midfield. Sometimes you'll see him ahead of the John McGinn, and sometimes John McGinn filling in for him. So yeah, it's been brilliant from Douglas Luiz. I think he's a player, by the way, as well, Crossy.
So is Mohamed Kudus as well, as you were alluding to there. How long do you think until we see him? Because he's a lot of fun to watch.
Me personally, if I was the manager, but I'm not David Moyes, I'd bring him on at half-time. Right. I just think they needed something different up front. Aston Villa have such a high line. He wants to run in behind. He can cause problems. He scored a few goals for West Ham. I'd be looking to bring him on. He's really exciting.
Right, go enjoy your pick and mix, but don't have too much and spoil your tea.
Don't be jealous, mate. Don't be jealous. I know you want to be here with us. Don't worry. I'm thinking about you.
Always. Thank you, guys. Aston Villa lead West Ham United by 1-0 at Villa Park. We'll bring you second half commentary. We're going to take our first visit to Austin, Texas shortly. The US Grand Prix is live on 5 Live after 6:06. The lines will be opening for 6:06 very shortly, so we'll tell you when they are, and you can call 08085 909 693 later to speak to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Much more to come on 5 Live Sport after the news with Stuart Clarkson.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Israeli military has said sorry for accidentally shelling an Egyptian position near the border with Gaza. It said the incident in the Kerem Shalom area, not far from the Rafah crossing, was a mistake and would be investigated. It happened as checks were carried out on a second convoy of trucks waiting to take humanitarian aid from Egypt to the Gaza Strip. The 17 vehicles at Rafah were being searched to ensure they were carrying only humanitarian aid. Well, people in Gaza are suffering severe shortages of food, water and medicines. This man was queuing for bread in the southern town of Khan Yunis.
Our suffering is unprecedented. We've been here at the bakery's door since dawn. If the situation continues the same way for 2 or 3 more days, it will be a catastrophe. We wake up at dawn roaming the streets looking for water. Gaza's children are dying because of airstrikes. There are babies who die of hunger.
In the past few minutes, the family of a 16-year-old British-Israeli girl who's been missing since the raid by Hamas 2 weeks ago have confirmed she was murdered in the attack. Noya Sharabi died along with her 13-year-old sister and her mother. The girl's father, Eli, is still missing. The Environment Agency has warned that major rivers could still be flooded until Tuesday following Storm Babette. In Retford, in Nottinghamshire, residents of around 500 homes have been urged to leave due to rising water levels along the River Idle. In Angus and Aberdeenshire, people have been going back to their flooded properties today to assess the damage. Ewan Clark lives in Brechin.
Can't believe it, really. It's just, I knew there was going to be damage, but I didn't think there would be this much damage. I didn't think it was going to flood, to be honest with you. But if it was just going to come up to my door. Going to be like a deep end or swimming pool.
And the head of the civil service, Simon Case, has stepped back from his role due to what's been described as a private medical matter. Mr Case, who's the Cabinet Secretary, is expected to be off work for a few weeks. His absence was confirmed days after WhatsApp messages were released by the UK COVID-19 inquiry, disclosing some of his private thoughts about Boris Johnson's administration during the pandemic.
On BBC iPlayer.
I am doing life. A few more years means nothing to me.
I'm pregnant. Judges go easy on pregnant women.
I fiddled my electricity, that's all. I don't think I should even be in here.
A new series of the BAFTA award-winning Time.
You tell anyone, and I mean anyone, about me, I will kill you.
Starring Jodie Whittaker, Tamara Lawrence and Bella Ramsey. Time. Starts Sunday on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
And it's Aston Villa 1, West Ham 0 at half-time in the Premier League. We have got second half commentary on the way. Already today, Celtic restored their 7-point lead at the top of the Scottish Premiership with a comfortable 4-1 win at Hearts. In the WSL, Chelsea have moved level with Manchester City at the top of the table. They came from behind to beat Brighton 4-2. Manchester United bounced back from their Champions League exit with a 5-0 win at Everton, and West Ham snatched a late injury time equaliser to draw 1-1 with Liverpool. There's a 6:45 game as well in the WSL, which is Bristol City against Arsenal. Now, is Virat Kohli going to steer India to World Cup cricket victory over New Zealand? Dan Norcross.
Well, I think he probably is. He's playing an absolute masterclass of an innings here. He's unbeaten on 79 from 92 balls. He scored more runs than any other human being in winning run chases in one-day internationals. And India now just need 26 from 30 balls, but you have to hand it to New Zealand. They have fought every inch of the way here, and the drop catch off Jadeja, well, I say a drop, fielder Mark Chapman out in the deep slipped over on this controversial outfield just as he looked like he might be able to pull off a catch that would have broken this partnership, a partnership that has now put on 57 for the 6th wicket. India just have 4 bowlers left to come. Their tail is weak, so New Zealand still convinced if they can get the breakthrough they're in with a chance, but 26 needed off 30 balls with 2 set batters. It looks like it's India's for the taking, and then they really would have, well, they'd be mostly all the way to a semi-final place with 5 wins out of 5.
Thank you, Daniel. Daniel Norcross there watching New Zealand against India, and you can get the commentary right now on 5 Sports Extra. Elsewhere, England held off a late fight back by Tonga to win the opening match of their autumn international series 22-18 in St Helens. Tom Johnson scored 2 tries. Toby King was also on the score sheet, as was an emotional debutant, Mikey Lewis.
Words can't describe how I feel at the moment. I loved every second of that. The whole week, the whole build-up of it, when I got told I was going to make my debut this week. Yeah, I hadn't let it go by, and I've enjoyed every moment, and I've really enjoyed it. That 80 minutes out there.
And I know I saw pictures on your social media of your family with your cap. It's been a proud week moment for you.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, massive for me, my family. From where I've come from to, making my England debut. If you said to me at the beginning of the year I was going to make my England debut, I'd have just laughed at you. This is how much it means to me and my family, and yeah, we'll enjoy this now, and we'll look back, we'll watch video, and we can be ready to go again next week.
It sounds easy to say, you bring your club form, the way that you play into the international scene, but I'm guessing it's a heck of a lot different to play, just the way that you're used to playing when you step up onto this stage.
Yeah, it's a big step up, but I've come a long way this year, and I feel like I was ready for that moment, and like I say, I'm just immensely proud of the win today. The boys really dug in. That Tongan teams, they got some unreal players. What a real experience, and to get the win today is it's massive for us.
That right there is what it can mean. International sport. Mikey Lewis speaking to Tanya Arnold. The second match of the series is next Saturday in Huddersfield. Elsewhere, Harlequins have beaten Exeter 22-14 in Rugby Union's Premiership. In the United Rugby Championship, Scarlets have lost 63-21 to the Bulls, and Glasgow lead Leinster as we speak 29-20. Commentary of the United States Grand Prix live from Austin from 7:45 on 5 Live. Max Verstappen won the sprint race on Saturday, but the world champion is going to start 6th on the grid today. Charles Leclerc on pole for Ferrari ahead of McLaren's Lando Norris and Mercedes' Lewis Hamilton. Rosanna Tennant is in Austin. Good afternoon, Rosanna.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I'm very jealous of you, not because you're in Austin, but because you get to spend time with Jolyon Palmer. Good afternoon, sir.
Oh.
Good afternoon. I've been lured back, Crossy.
I hear
brisket,
it.
Bit of barbecue food, and I'm here in Texas. Lovely.
Oh.
You couldn't resist.
Rosanna, this is the thing. People who aren't necessarily massive F1 fans always say to me at the moment, isn't it a bit boring? Verstappen's winning every week, etc., etc. But this track is incredibly good fun.
Yeah, it really is. And do you know what? Add to that, not just the boredom or the domination that we've seen in 2023. Of course, now the championships are wrapped up. So it's a bit of a hard sell, but this track is magnificent. Austin loves F1 almost as much as Jolyon loves BBC F1 and Austin as well. So they're here in force, the crowds. They've been here over the course of the weekend. And I think, as you said, Charles Leclerc on pole, Max Verstappen starting P6. I think we can have a bit of fun. And Max even said that himself. He's looking forward to a fun race this afternoon.
49 overtakes in this Grand Prix last year. Is that the reason the drivers love it then, Jolyon?
Well, I think it's a mixture of that. It's certainly a track that you can race on. There's some good overtaking areas, but it's also a fun track to drive. There's some fast corners. The first sector's a little bit like Maggots and Beckett's at Silverstone, which is exhilarating and always has been. So it's a nice blend. There has been a huge crowd and a real buzz about the whole city as well, and the race here. You wouldn't have known this was a dead rubber turning up. It's jam-packed. So, yeah, it's fun on all accounts. And hopefully with Verstappen starting 6th, we're going to see a few more overtakes, or not, because yesterday from the front, he was dominant. So hopefully we can see some good fighting again today.
It was a little while ago, but once upon a time you were a young British driver in Formula 1, Jolyon.
Yesteryear.
Only a couple, once upon a time. I'm really interested to get your take on Lando Norris, who seems to be really starting to perform consistently. And you know what it's like. He's been in the sport for a few years now, I know that. But he is still young. Does it feel like he's starting to find Grand Prix consistency now?
He is probably now Verstappen's most genuine contender, most genuine rival in all of these Grand Prix. McLaren have turned this around from being right at the back at the start of the season to being Red Bull's closest rivals. And Norris is really coming of age, I'd say. He's been on the podium 5 times in the last 8 Grand Prix, but he still hasn't won one. He starts on the front row today, and he's got a chance. It would be nice to see, because I think everyone in the paddock knows that Lando Norris is a future star. And with McLaren moving forward, I think Lando's got what it takes, and he's revelling in leading that McLaren team as well.
Thing is, Rosanna, he is going to get that victory of some point. Of course he is. And the question is going to flip then. And the question will flip to, are McLaren going to be big enough for Lando Norris?
Yeah, I think so. He needs to get that win off his back, the monkey off his back. He's also being pushed hard by his teammate, Oscar Piastri. I think they can deliver him a car that is worthy of a championship now. As Julian says, they have bounced back in extraordinary fashion in 2023. I think now he's got a bit of a battle within the team with the Australian rookie, Oscar Piastri. I think next year they should be good if they can carry on the momentum that they've had this year. There is chatter, of course, that perhaps he could be somebody that could take the second seat at Red Bull alongside his friend Max Verstappen. Never know whether that status of friend would change, therefore, when he's partnered with Max Verstappen, now the 3-time world champion. But I think at the moment, I think he's in a good spot with McLaren. They are really great.
Disappointingly, Jolien, I've just had a message from your producer saying you weren't happy at coming in early to do this chat, so all of a sudden our relationship has changed.
Do you know what, though, as well? I was going to say, you say former Formula 1 driver. You think he'd be current, the amount of selfies he's been asked for this weekend here in Austin?
At least 3. I've had at least 3 over 3 days. It's been a real privilege to be back at the track. Crossy, I'm here. I'm absorbing the atmosphere for you.
Yeah.
And it's always a pleasure.
One signed photo from me as well, please.
I can't believe I've been stitched up like that.
Thank you, guys. Can't wait for that. Live in Austin, Texas with our F1 team, 7:45 on 5 Live. Full commentary of the race. You'll be able to hear that straight after 6:06. The lines are open now, 08085 909 693, to speak to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Afternoon, Rob.
Afternoon. Lines are open for 6:06. We haven't heard that for a couple of weeks because of the rugby, have we, Steve?
I know. So what are you going to talk about tonight?
Well, what do we talk about? Listen, I'm sure lots of football fans have got lots to get off the chest. The handball rule, what is that? We don't know what it is. Arsenal still unbeaten. What about Scott McTominay's form, for Manchester United? The 2 goals, then he got one yesterday. Also his form for Scotland. Johnny Evans, a lot of criticism when Manchester United took him, Steve, but the 3 starts, they've won 3 Manchester United with Johnny Evans in the side. Everton, again, losing in the Manchester derby. Did the decisions go in Liverpool's favour, Steve? That's the big one.
Did you hear one of the journalists actually asked Jurgen Klopp the question?
Will it be a replay?
I mean, there's bravery and there's stupidity, and I'm not saying which side of the line that falls on.
Also, Luton not in the bottom 3. Can they stay up? And also listen to the commentary on the way in with ABB and Clinton talking about the atmosphere at Villa Park. I'm sure that's lifted now with the goal, but all they need to do at Villa Park, and I'm sure Clinton's listening, is put me in the centre circle at half time. That'll raise the atmosphere.
Thank you very much, Robbie.
Pleasure.
Have a good one. 08085 909 693 is the number to call for 6:06. Lines open right now. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton will be with you once we're done at Villa Park and the teams are taking to the field for the second half. Your commentary team, Clinton Morrison and Alistair Breesbrook.
Thank you, Steve. Just a few dolly mixtures still remaining at the bottom of Clinton's pot. That'll do us very nicely at full time. Aston Villa leading West Ham by 1-0. It looks like no changes for either team at half time. West Ham, who came here on the back of a fantastic record against Aston Villa, unbeaten in their last 10 Premier League games against them. David Moyes, who's won his last 5 games as a manager at Villa Park, unbeaten in his last 14 games against Aston Villa, but it's Aston Villa who have their noses in front. Douglas Luiz with the right-footed strike from the edge of the box that Areola, slightly unsighted, got a hand to, but couldn't keep out of the back of the West Ham net. So that's where we stand at half-time. Second half is underway. You're listening to it on 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the BBC World Service. Aston Villa in the home kit, they're in the claret and blue, they're defending the goal away to our left-hand side, so attacking the famous Holt End away to our right, and West Ham in change kit, white shirts, the light blue shorts and the white socks. And Pau Torres, the tall, elegant Spaniard at centre-back for Villa, gets it forward to McGinn to Diaby lays it off to Matty Cash, and Cash is going to have an early run at Emerson in the second half, and then he's clipped. Paquetá comes back to try and help out, and he ends up making a mess of it, just runs into the back of Matty Cash. So this is a good attacking opportunity for Aston Villa right at the start of the second half. Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, I like it with Aston Villa, the way their fullbacks kept forward. Even when they're playing this 4, Cash is still high, and so is Luca Digne, and that's down to Unai Emery getting a lot of round of applause. I like the way the managers always come out late because they love the round of applause.
Yeah, he's milking it, dear.
I used to do that as a player. But mine
well, last out.
Yeah, but mine were boos.
So, minute into the second half, I'll run you through the two team lineups again in just a second. Let's see what Villa can do with the free kick. Clinton was talking about the attacking fullbacks. One of the things that Digne possesses, delivery from the set piece, goes low to the edge of the box. Douglas Luiz lays it off to Matty Cash. He floats one up towards the far post. Watkins attacks it, tries to head it across goal. It was Kamara, in fact. It's cleared by Edson Alvarez towards the halfway line. And Douglas Luiz, once of Manchester City, but now very firmly an Aston Villa player, knocks one forward for Digne to chase at full speed down the left, and Alvarez slides in to block an attempted cross, and the Villa fans behind the goal wondering whether he touched it and it should have been a corner, but the referee David Coote says no, goal kick. Emi Martinez in goal for Aston Villa, Cash, Konza, Pau Torres, Luca Digne, back 4, McGinn, Kamara, Douglas Luiz, Zaniolo, Diaby and Watkins makes up the full starting 11. Areola in goal for West Ham, Sofal Zuma again, and Emerson. A very familiar, regular starting lineup, this one for West Ham in the Premier League. Ward-Prowse and Alvarez, Thomas Souček, the furthest forward of those three midfielders. Bowen and Paquetá right and left, either side of Michail Antonio. One win in the last 4 Premier League games for West Ham. That came at home against Sheffield United, drew the last one against Newcastle 2-2. Defeats against Manchester City and Liverpool. Dark clouds threatening above, but for the moment it remains dry. And West Ham attacking. Bowen lays it off to Souček, who had some early forays in the first half for West Ham forward, but we've seen less of him as that first half went on. He thought he'd won West Ham a throw there, but it goes to Villa in their left back position.
Yeah, he's not the player that's going to go and create stuff and try and link stuff like he's doing there. He's best making them runs from late into the box where he scored goals, and you were right, you alluded to it too. Was it a couple of years ago? He was flying, he got a lot of goals from midfield. Throw
in for Villa. Luca Digne has the ball above his head. He's right in front of the away fans on the opposite side of the ground to us. Skies are just darkening above, as I say, and it makes the floodlights that have been on, just seems like they're getting ever brighter, looking up above the to the roof of the Doug Ellis stand on the opposite side of the ground to us, and that claret and blue Villa flag shiny in the sunshine, proudly flying. Diaby picks it up on the right, works the ball onto his left foot, lays it into the path of John McGinn, 25 yards from goal, ships it on to Luiz. Luiz tries to thread one through to Diaby on the right. He's into the penalty area. Low cross comes in. Watkins has a stab at it. Zuma's in the way, and the ball goes behind for an Aston Villa corner. They're so dangerous, Villa, aren't they?
Yeah, and you know what? Diaby and Watkins have something, because every time he gets into little pockets there, Diaby, he's always looking to thread the ball through to Ollie Watkins. He's been a threat so far this afternoon.
Scotland fans call him Super John McGinn. I imagine the Aston Villa fans do too. He gets applause from all of them close by as he goes over to take this corner from the right. He's got his right arm up in the air. Aston Villa's number 7 waits and then goes short to Diaby. Diaby straight back to McGinn. Will keep this in. Low cross into the near post. Not enough on it. Paquetá is able to intercept. He's chased out of the penalty area by Kamara. Just holds him off for the moment, then plays a dangerous ball back into the box. That might be a penalty. Sliding challenge came in on Ezri Konza, and the referee points to the spot, and the Villa fans celebrate. Paquetá played his own team into trouble. Konza sensed the opportunity, went running in to try and take the ball. Edson Alvarez came sliding in, caught Konza, it seems. The referee on field at the moment has given a penalty, but obviously our video assistant referee, Chris Kavanagh, will check.
Oh, it's a hard one. I'm looking at it now. Oh, does he try to pull his foot away? He goes in, and then Konza feels the contact. Once it's given on the field, I don't think the VAR are going to change it, because I don't think it's a clear and obvious mistake.
Well, let's see. Let's wait and see. We've got a delay at the moment. Konza definitely got to the ball first. Alvarez tried to make the challenge. As Clinton says, I think as he was making it, maybe thought better of it, thought he wasn't going to get there, but there did look like there was contact. We're waiting for it to be cleared by the referee. I think it is going to stand. Douglas Luiz has the ball on the spot, so penalty it is. VAR satisfied that the on-field decision was correct, and here we go again. Douglas Luiz with a chance to make it.
That's what I mean. That's why he's scoring all these goals out.
2 goals in the game. Can he stick this one away? 2 out of 2 so far this season. All he's doing at the moment is marching back to the edge of the box and staring Alphonse Areola in the eye. He's dancing around. Tall Frenchman on his line for West Ham. Douglas Luiz waits for the whistle. Ward-Prowse applauds his goalkeeper. Here comes Douglas Luiz. Slowly approaches the ball. Hits it down the middle and puts Aston Villa 2-0 in front. West Ham playing themselves into trouble, needlessly conceding the penalty, and Douglas Luiz punishes them. Aston Villa 2, West Ham 0.
Yeah, and it's, you know what, it's Paquetá. He's been excellent, but he wants to play out from the back. And when you're in them situations, sometimes you don't want to overplay, but he's overplayed. Credit to Aston Villa, they press well. Douglas Luiz was never going to miss that penalty. It's been outstanding.
Villa fans on their feet all around us, celebrating. They lead 2-0, and at the moment they are heading for an 11th successive home Premier League win. It is an absolute fortress. It's one of the great football grounds, you have to say, in England, and when they get it going here, you know, like all the big grounds, it really does start to rock. It's been quiet at times today, but they're comfortably in front at the moment, and Unai Emery, you have to say, is doing an absolutely fantastic job. Year in charge as the Villa boss, has got them into Europe by finishing 7th last season, and has his sights set on a higher prize this season. Clinton, I said I was going to read you a bit from that newspaper article. So this was him talking to the players when he first got the job. Watkins tries to control the ball here. It's gone out for a West Ham throw. He said to the players, "I'm not happy because Steven Gerrard was sacked, and as a coach I suffer too when that happens, and you," to the players, "you are responsible. So I'm going to try to increase the level, be ambitious, be demanding. I'm not going to stop. Every day trying to get better than yesterday, and I'm not here to waste my time."
Fair play.
Strong.
He went down there and laid the law straight away.
Exactly.
And it's either you buy into it or you don't, and they've all bought into it, these players.
Yeah, you can see it, can't you? Made some good signings in the summer, Aston Villa, and at home they are a real threat at the moment. West Ham in a spot of bother this afternoon, trailing Villa by 2-0. Both teams will have European encounters to come in the week. Emerson thumps the ball forward with his left foot, simply in frustration, really. Wasn't thinking about that, and it comes all the way through to Emi Martinez. So Aston Villa in the Europa Conference League have got a tough one, actually. They're away to AZ Alkmaar. Alkmaar met West Ham in the semi-finals of the Europa League last season, so that will be a challenge. And West Ham now playing in the Europa League. They go to Olympiacos on Thursday. Our European commentaries this week. Old Trafford Tuesday night will be a very highly charged emotional occasion. Manchester United against Copenhagen. Ball over the top to Watkins, heads it to his right, and Sofal clears with his left foot. And Wednesday night, Newcastle against Borussia Dortmund live from St James's Park. Matty Cash looking for the 1-2 to Diaby, thinks he was blocked by Emerson, runs into Emerson, falls over. Yeah, referee's happy with that as a foul. Not only a foul, he's giving Emerson a yellow card. Emerson's lost his head a little bit.
He has lost his head. I think most of the West Ham players have lost their head by that decision. To concede just after half-time like that, it's disappointing, because all your half-time team talk that you said from David Moyes goes out the window.
Free kick, Aston Villa. Well on top. Stadium buzzing. Lines open for 606 08 085 909 693. Villa fans, West Ham fans, Chris and Robbie will want your thoughts. Douglas Luiz with the free kick. Good pace on that to the far post. Zuma heads it away, only as far as Digne. Takes a touch, tries to drive in across. That's blocked. And goes behind for a corner to Aston Villa, who are very much on top in this game. Win today, they're up to 5th, but they're also just a point behind Tottenham, who play tomorrow night at home against Fulham. Updates of that one into the Monday Night Club. Mark Chapman and the team with that show tomorrow night. Liverpool also on 20 points. There'll be a point behind them. There'll be 2 points behind Manchester City and Arsenal. Unai Emery pushing for Champions League football. That's what he wants. Corner, whipped in at real pace and slapped away by Areola. There was a danger that might even go in for the hat-trick goal from Douglas Luiz.
Yeah, it might have been. Many people would think he was trying to go for goal.
Yeah. Digne heads the ball away. Long clearance from inside the West Ham half. Now, I was at Stamford Bridge last night. Chelsea were 2-0 up on Arsenal. Chelsea scored early in the second half. Arsenal came back and got it to 2-2. It's not over.
They always say that Nets goal 2-0 is always a precarious scoreline. That Nets, if you make it 3, then it's game over. But no, West Ham, as I say, it only takes a second to score a goal.
Yeah. Souček under pressure finds Emerson. Aston Villa chants ringing around the stadium. Souček, tall figure in his white shirt, plays it back to another big man, Kurt Zouma. Right-footed pass out to Sofal, gets motoring down the right, forward to Bowen, back to Alvarez. Alvarez scuttles forward. Bowen takes the ball on the turn, decides to hit a shot. Double deflection. Oh, it's found the bottom corner. Jarrod Bowen celebrates with the West Ham fans. That took about 2 or 3 deflections on the way through. He took a chance and he's got lucky. It's ended up in the back of the net. It's Aston Villa 2, West Ham 1.
Yeah, it's a big deflection, and you're right. I think it probably took 2 or 3 deflections before they found the back of the net. But yeah, I think it might be the unlucky player might be Pau Torres, because that's who the cameras are highlighting. But as I said, he's been their biggest threat. Yeah, it's a big deflection of Pau Torres, and it deflects. Martinez is going one way and it goes the other way.
Yeah, Jarrod Bowen got himself into the shooting position. Right-hand corner of the penalty area, and you could see what he was trying to do, whipping into that far corner, and it's just glanced off the legs of Pau Torres, and it's given Emi Martinez absolutely no chance. So that's what we're saying, Clinton, back in the game, 2-1.
Definitely, now they are back in the game. Good opportunity. We were just talking about it literally a minute before that.
Cash plays the ball back to Kamara. Aston Villa under Turkic. Alvarez and Kamara run into each other. Legs swinging, arms flailing. Free kick goes to Aston Villa, and the camera's on Jarrod Bowen there. He won't get it. Was that shot on target?
If it's on target, I think he might get it, but if it's not on target, he won't get it.
Because if he does get that goal, that will be his 100th senior career goal, and in a nice little bit of symmetry, his first ever senior career goal came at Villa Park here for Hull. 2015. Ward-Prowse doesn't like the challenge from Douglas Luiz. Free kick is given to West Ham. They've now got the bit between their teeth. Bowen's deflected shot. Villa 2, West Ham 1. 12 minutes gone in the second half. And under David Moyes, as we know, West Ham are nothing if not fighters. They will scrap tooth and nail. And this is lovely for James Ward-Prowse. We've got a perfect view of his technique here as well. He's right in front of us, isn't he, on this left-hand touchline?
Yeah, and from his set pieces, 9 times out of 10, he always puts it on the money.
So Ward-Prowse, as ever, very deliberate sort of in the setup. Steps back. Swipes loose hair away from his forehead, lifts his left arm in the air, and then whips that ball in. Spinning viciously. Martinez punches it away. Sofal 40 yards out. Curling ball towards Ward-Prowse. Gets a header on it. Couldn't direct it back across goal. Villa fans now excited because Diaby full steam ahead, trying to get away down the right. Aguerd blocks his path, but actually it's Diaby who fouls Aguerd. Aguerd did well there, got his body in the way. Diaby couldn't get to the ball. Free kick West Ham.
Yeah, because Diaby's quick. I didn't think he could get back at him, but credit to Aguerd. He does ever so well, gets his body across him and wins the free kick.
Now West Ham take that free kick. Alvarez goes straight down the middle, looks for the flick on from Paquetá, who was trying to find the run of Bowen, didn't quite get enough on the header. Zaniolo plays it back to Pau Torres, forward to Kamara, back to Konza. Very nicely done by Aston Villa, applauded by the Aston Villa fans around us. Just over half an hour to play. Lines open for 6:06. Chris and Robbie taking the calls up until the US Grand Prix tonight. We've got full commentary on that from 8 o'clock this evening. Sports Extra tonight, as your usual. NFL coverage, if you're a fan of the American football, from 9 o'clock this evening. Chargers at the Chiefs, full commentary on that one. Paquetá and Bowen exchange passes down the right. Bowen, low cross into the penalty area, looking for Antonio, intercepted by Torres. Scoops a clearance up in the air. Zaniolo takes a tumble. Referee says play on. Zaniolo's gone down holding his head. I'm not sure where the contact on his head came. The referee, if he's seen that, might have to stop the game. That's what the Villa fans are complaining about. He does stop the game because Zaniolo's holding his head. And that must be Zaniolo falling to the floor and banging his head, because I didn't see contact with another player. And Vladimir Sofal is absolutely livid with Zaniolo because he believes that's play acting, and he's come over to have a word, and Kurt Zouma's actually just taken him away from it and said, look, let's not get involved, let's calm down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he is. He is telling him not to get involved. Kurt Zouma said don't get involved. We'll have to wait and see for the after the replay to see.
So Villa leading West Ham 2-1 here. Zaniolo now receiving the treatment. And West Ham, when we restart, will have possession of the ball on the left-hand side. And that, what?
No way. I've seen the replay.
Okay.
There's no contact on him whatsoever. No way.
Yeah.
There's no contact. Oh. I think it's like it's his hand. Maybe he's got contact with his hand, but not his head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No way.
Well,
this is what I mean. Like, it's a difficult one because you have to stop it because of the head injury.
No, you can't take any chances.
You can't take any chances. No.
You know,
the referee's done the right thing.
Yeah, and do you know what? Even if the referee thinks they've seen that clearly, I still don't think they can take a risk with that. Because if they were to ignore it, then you just never know. But
yeah, you're right.
Sofal is making the point. He was making the point to Zaniolo that he thinks he's basically just stopped West Ham playing when they were in a good position on the field. At the moment, my clever little Premier League app is telling me that Jarrod Bowen is being given that goal, so a shot was on target. So that is Jarrod Bowen's 100th senior career goal. It's his 6th goal of this Premier League season, and he's now on a par with Thierry Henry and Mo Salah to become players who have scored in the first 5 away games in a Premier League season. That's a niche stat. I know that's a niche stat, but 5 away games in a row from the start of the season. If only Henry and Salah have done it, you've got to be...
Oh, when you're in them two names companies,
exactly.
Who would be the one was probably the best for me,
yes,
Thierry Henry, the
yeah.
best, and Salah's going to be a Premier League great as well.
Correct. Yeah. 16 minutes gone in the second half. Things are just spicing up a little bit here as well. Good game on our hands. Villa 2, West Ham 1. Emerson drives a crossfield ball. Paquetá jumps. Back header towards Bowen. In that similar position, edge of the box. Just runs into the challenge of Douglas Luiz. Luiz releases Watkins on the left. Zaniolo showing real pace now to get beyond Watkins. Being booed at the moment by the West Ham fans. Cross comes in. Poor ball straight towards Areola. Areola spies an opportunity to get West Ham away quickly. Edson Alvarez on the ball. Just moving to his right inside his own half. Side foots it to Sofal. Sofal wide to Paquetá. Paquetá just glides past players so easily.
Oh, what a pass.
Forward towards Antonio. Ward-Prowse moving up on the left-hand side. Still Antonio holds on to it, looking for an option. Eventually sees one behind him in Souček. Souček gets the shout from Emerson. 35 yards out in the inside left channel. Wide it goes to Ward-Prowse. Back to Emerson. To Ward-Prowse again. Villa back in their defensive shape and just forcing West Ham away from their goal. But just one goal in this game now. Villa took the 2-0 lead with the Douglas Luiz penalty early in the second half. Jarrod Bowen's goal has got West Ham back in the game. Miscue from Zaniolo, almost lets Sofal in. Zaniolo blocks and the ball comes off him and goes behind for a West Ham corner.
Yeah, he might have to make a change on that side, Emery, because Sofal's getting forward and Zaniolo, as I said, doesn't really want to track him back. He's done his job there, and West Ham are getting ready for Mohamed Kudus.
Yeah, your man's coming on.
Yeah,
Clinton.
He's a good player, very good player.
Yeah, hasn't had his chance from the start yet in the Premier League, Mohamed Kudus. 3 goals already for the club, a couple of those in the Europa League, the late equaliser against Newcastle in the Premier League. But as this season goes on, he will play a bigger and bigger part for West Ham, having joined the club from Ajax. He's getting some instructions from Kevin Nolan. Villa Park falls silent. West Ham with an attacking set piece. James Ward-Prowse delivers it. High spinning ball to the far post. Again tries to get a header on it. Up in the air it goes. Volleyed on target. Headed over the bar by Matty Cash. And that is a fabulous block. I'm not sure Martinez would have been able to stop that. It was Aguerd on the volley.
Yeah, it's brilliant defending. Even if he thinks he's going to get there, Matty Cash, he can't let it go. So it's really good.
Another corner coming for West Ham. James Ward-Prowse comes trotting over to our side of the field. Grabs the ball in both hands. David Coote, referee, just tells him to hold it for the time being.
He must be checking something there. If
he's
telling him to hold something, he must be checking for a possible VAR. There you go.
On a potential... what?
Where?
High foot on...
Is it Konza's hand?
Aguerd as he shoots.
Is it Konza's hand? It's Konza's hand. It's his left hand. Well, to see if it deflects because his hand's out.
Okay, let's have a look. Konza leaping in the air.
No, but he's pulling it away. But it is out. But you never know. I've seen a few given over the weekend. But no, he's not giving it.
No, they're okay. They're okay. They're happy with that.
Because he was pulling it away.
No penalty. Villa 2, West Ham 1. And that is now announced around Villa Park. Ward-Prowse with the corner, and it comes. Good delivery. Zouma leaps. Who got the last touch on that one? It's going to be another corner for West Ham. So pressure continues to build on Aston Villa, who lead 2-1. And Ward-Prowse is doing some shuttles at the moment, because there was a corner on the right, then the corner on the left, and now he goes jogging back over to the right-hand side. Next break in play will bring you a result in the match in the Cricket World Cup today. Big game, actually. The two unbeaten teams are going head-to-head. That was India against New Zealand. I know some of you will have been enjoying that on Radio 5 Sports Extra. Here's Ward-Prowse, away swinger with the corner. Bowen's up, heads it over the bar. That will be a goal kick to Aston Villa. Dan Norcross can bring us the details. Who won it, Dan?
India did. They won it by 4 wickets with 12 balls to spare. Slightly farcical end, actually. Virat Kohli was trying to manufacture a way to get 100, so Jadeja at the other end was defending balls rather than looking for runs and trying to get to his 100 with a 6, with India needing 5 to win. Kohli was caught in the deep mid-wicket. He departed for 95, but they got over the line. They win. India by 4 wickets with 2 overs to spare. They're 5 wins out of 5, but New Zealand, they took them close. I think you're going to see both these sides in the semi-finals.
Dan, I'm going to throw one at you here very quickly. What's next? Do you know that off the top of your head? Next game?
Well, India play England next, which is yes, I know. England. Well, England have got to play another game before that, so these are awkward times.
They
for England,
certainly are. Dan, thank you very much indeed. Aston Villa back on the attack here. Matty Cash and Moussa Diaby have a slight misunderstanding, and he's poked the ball behind for a West Ham goal kick. We're moving towards the midway point in the second half of this game. 5 Live BBC Sounds and the BBC World Service. 6:06 on the way. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton taking your calls as always at the weekend. 08085 909 693. Don't wait to dial. If you've got something you want to say to them about the weekend's football, call the number now. They'll get you lined up and you will get to have your say this evening. Zaniolo battles with Edson Alvarez, finds Ollie Watkins. Watkins runs to his left. He's about 40 yards from the West Ham goal. He's held up, and he manages to play it back to Douglas Luiz. First time ball from him goes astray, and it's intercepted by Emerson. Emerson looks for Antonio, full of running as always. Antonio wide on the left here, taking on Matty Cash. Stops for a second, plays it back to Emerson. Antonio stays wide. Cash tries to come in with the challenge, races in, gets a touch on the ball. Throw in for West Ham. Emerson complaining, needs to be careful, he's on the yellow card. Throw in from Antonio to Emerson, back to Antonio, miscontrol, and out it goes for a throw in to Aston Villa. Kudus came on for Souček, Clinton, I noticed.
Yeah, which is probably, it's much more attacking, to be fair. He looks like he's playing in the kind of number 10 role, kind of. I thought maybe Paquetá would drop back into that position and play more wider.
Throw in Aston Villa, Matty Cash takes it, Douglas Luiz lays the ball back to him. Cash to Luiz, and then Luiz lofts a beautiful pinpoint pass into the feet of Ollie Watkins. Slip at the back from Sofal allowed Zaniolo to get to that pass from Watkins. Wide it goes to Digne. Digne's cross is blocked by Sofal. Boubacar Kamara just lobs one up in the air. That's awkward for Konza. Antonio challenges him, and now he looks for the pace of Kudus down the left-hand side. Matty Cash just about keeps up with him. Kudus gets to the ball, but Cash is in his way on the left here. And Kudus comes trotting away from Cash and lays it back to Ward-Prowse. Across to Alvarez. Alvarez looks to his right. 2 players out there. One of them Paquetá will try and work it onto that left foot. Sofal makes the run beyond him. Cross comes in over the head of Bowen. Awkwardly cleared on the knee by Douglas Luiz, and then a tumble by Luca Digne, edge of the box, challenge on him, and the free kick is given to the Aston Villa man. 24 minutes gone in the second half. Villa 2, West Ham 1.
Yeah, you can feel the nerves around there, can't you? Even with the fans and that, and they are growing into the game, West Ham, in this second half. They're going 2-0 down, but that equaliser from Jared Bowen has definitely lifted these players at the moment, and the fans.
Aston Villa's last win against West Ham, any competition, was here back in May 2015. That's 8 years ago. Tom cleverly scored, and James Ward-Prowse closes in on Emi Martinez and very nearly blocked that. Very, very close to the Villa goal line, and Villa have lost it again, playing out from the back. Sofal can't keep it for West Ham. Ward-Prowse is battling, wins a 50-50 against Kamara, turns away from Kamara, plays the 1-2 with Zuma, still Ward-Prowse. Offside flag stays down. Bowen on the right tries to get the cross in, can't find Antonio, and now this might break nicely for Villa. John McGinn comes sprinting forward up to the halfway line, takes it beyond Alvarez. Diaby's waiting for him wide on the right hand side. He's got Emerson backpedaling. Diaby takes him on the outside, gets that cross in right across the face of goal. Watkins had dropped a little bit deeper, couldn't get on the end of it. Zaniolo sprints though and keeps the ball in on the left-hand side, and then such a lazy pass which didn't have the pace on it to get to Douglas Luiz.
Yeah, it is lazy. You're spot on. It's a terrible pass.
Ball fired forward by Sofal. This is a good game. Finds Antonio. Paquetá in the middle for him. Antonio driving forward into the box. Cross comes in. Oh, it's nearly knocked into his own net by Matty Cash. Slides in at the far post, knocks it past the post and behind for a corner.
Yeah, that's brilliant play from Antonio, but Mohamed Kudus has to get in that back post and lock it off. Paquetá's gone across the front, he has to, but it's end to end. It's a good game in the second half, but good play from Antonio.
Yeah, really enjoying this at the moment. Clinton Morrison for company for you. 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the World Service. Football Daily podcast will be there for you as always. First thing tomorrow morning. The way you know it's going to be there, get to the BBC Sounds app, click subscribe. And the Football Daily will be there for you every morning. All the reaction to the weekend's football, the post-match interviews after this game as well. James Ward-Prowse getting ready to take the corner. West Ham were 2-0 down. Can they find a way back to 2-2? Ward-Prowse, very deliberate as ever in his preparations, runs to the ball, curls it in, right under the bar. Zuma stretches, nearly got a flick on that, and it's cleared. It's Aged who's holding it up at the moment, tries to get it back to Ward-Prowse. Little bit of skill, takes it past Zaniolo. He's won another corner because the cross is blocked by John McGinn.
I think it's time to make a change in that position, Zaniolo, to be fair. I think he's getting tired now. Maybe some fresh legs, but West Ham are piling on the pressure.
I think John McGinn had a little word there to say to him, you were beaten too easily there, as in, come on.
Spot on now.
Yeah, I think he was doing the captain's job. Ward-Prowse again, set piece delivery for West Ham. Aston Villa player down flat on his back inside the penalty area, and Kurt Zouma offering him a hand to try and get him to his feet. It's McGinn who's down on his back. Now McGinn isn't one to throw himself around, so something's obviously happened in there. It's been a slight bang. Let's have a look. Again, I see Ollie Watkins' hand caught McGinn in the face. Alvarez was pushing Watkins away. Watkins sort of in anger flicked his right hand out and caught his own teammate in the face. So John McGinn doesn't want to get his teammate sent off for whacking him in the face. He's back on his feet, he's okay. Here comes another West Ham corner. Deep from Ward-Prowse to the far post. Martinez comes out amidst a whole host of bodies and claims it. Now he's gone down, holding his right leg. So we're going to get another stoppage in play. You're right, here comes a change. Leon Bailey, I think, is coming on. So do you think that might be for Zaniolo?
Yeah, I think it could be for Zaniolo. Yeah. I can't see anyone else. I think you keep Diaby on. He's had a good game.
Yes. Villa 2, West Ham 1. Scottish Premiership today. Celtic big winners away to Hearts at Tynecastle. We brought you commentary of that one earlier on today. They won it by 4-1. Celtic in Champions League action later this week. They're at home to Atletico Madrid. Kudus takes it off Matty Cash inside the Villa half. Cash desperate to try and win it back and does that. Plays it here to Kamara. Back to Cash in the right back position. Antonio goes chasing. Konza on the ball across to Emi Martinez. The Argentine international goalkeeper, the World Cup winner. Pau Torres, poor ball out. Kudus can't control it. It falls to McGinn. McGinn looking for the run of Watkins. Watkins getting away from Kurt Zouma. Villa Park on its feet. Step over from Watkins. Drives it high into the roof of the net. And that might just be the winner this Sunday afternoon. Villa able to release the pressure. Watkins, always a willing runner, gets away from Zouma. What a fabulous finish from a striker who's banging form. Villa 3, West Ham 1.
It's a great finish. It's a poor touch from Mohamed Kudus in the middle of the park, but McGinn plays an outstanding ball. And once Watkins gets into that position, the form he's in at the moment, I know he missed a big chance in that first half. It's a fantastic finish. The step over and then left foot finish. Fantastic finish from Ollie Watkins. Right into the roof and an outstanding finish.
15 minutes to play. That might just be that. Villa leading West Ham by 3-1, and you're right, Clinton.
What a finish.
Zaniolo is the man to come off.
Yeah, it was Zaniolo. He was struggling, and you were thinking if West Ham were going to get in, it was down that right-hand side, Villa's left. But what a finish from Watkins. I'm watching it again. Zouma don't want to get, it's a step over, he shifts it onto his left foot. And the pace is fantastic. What a finish that is. I didn't teach him that because I couldn't do that. So, brilliant Ollie Watkins. Outstanding finish.
I'm not saying he's necessarily aiming for that sort of pinpoint top corner, but you're right. He's teed himself up. He's hit it with everything he's got. And Areola's got absolutely no chance. with that sort of power. And the celebration from Unai Emery was brilliant. Delighted, sort of punch in the air with his right fist, because I think he was in the balance again there for a bit, but the 2-goal cushion is back.
Yeah, it was a big goal. It's a big goal for Aston Villa.
So Ollie Watkins, 8th goal of the season, 5 in the Premier League, 3 in the Europa Conference League, the hat-trick against Hibs. Digne clears with his left foot. And Aston Villa fans just feel a little more relaxed inside the stadium once more. 08085 909 693 is the number to dial for 606. Chris and Robbie on the way after this game. Here's Pau Torres bringing the ball out from the back. Well, Villa hungry for more. Diaby, ball at his feet, driving forward, tries an effort from a long way out. Might have been looking for Watkins with a sort of low fizzing cross across the box. Watkins puts his thumbs up. He was never going to get to that one, and it goes behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to go out. I think he was, you're right, trying to find Ollie Watkins. He just overhit it, but watching the goal again from Watkins, you can tell he's a striker that's in fantastic form. What a finish.
Goal kick taken then by West Ham. 14 minutes plus added time remaining for them to try and find a couple of goals to try and get something out of this game. Otherwise it's going to be 1 win in 5 in the Premier League. Olympiacos away for them on Thursday, and we'll have commentary on them next week actually. West Ham Everton, slightly earlier kick-off time as well. I think it's 1 o'clock.
Yeah, you're
next
right.
Week,
it's
isn't
1
it?
o'clock.
West Ham Everton.
Yeah,
we've got full commentary on that next Sunday.
There's about 28 games on Sunday.
That's right, because of the European football. Manchester United against Manchester City is our commentary at 3:30 next Sunday. Next Saturday, our 3 o'clock game, Arsenal Sheffield United. 5:30 we've got Wolves Newcastle after that big win of course against Palace yesterday, and then 8 o'clock next Saturday night, the Rugby Union World Cup final. Full commentary on that. Bowen battling for a ball that's launched forward by West Ham, edge of the area. He's sort of squeezed out by the 2 Villa centre-backs, and Emi Martinez falls on the ball for Villa. Just talking goalkeepers while I look at Emi Martinez reminds me that I've got to get the old fact of the day into the Premier League commentary as we do every weekend. This is our little feature. The commentators taking on Tony Livesey. I think we're unbeaten so far this season in answering the questions. My question on Friday was about a legendary goalkeeper from a long time ago called Bill Foulke, who was a Sheffield United and Chelsea goalkeeper. Bill Fatty Foulke was his name, giant of a man. I think he's about 24 stone, 6'4", something like that. And the fact about him that Tony threw my way was the fact that after an FA Cup final Sheffield United were involved in, the game finished as a draw and headed to a replay. He wasn't very happy with the decision that was made, and without any clothes on went chasing after the referee when he spotted him, and the referee ended up having to run away and hide in a cupboard. So that was the fact of the day on Friday. 5:20 every Friday. Ball forward to Paquetá. Bowen's down, just got caught as he went running through onto that one. Villa keep going. They come sweeping up the middle of the pitch. I'll tell you what, Watkins is in the same position again here, taking the ball into the penalty area. What will he do this time? Right-footed ball, tries to get it back to McGinn. It's read by Ward-Prowse. I'm surprised he just didn't go for the same again.
Exactly, he was in the same position, he was against the same defender, and once you scored one, you're thinking go again.
Ball down the left to Antonio, not enough on that from Paquetá. Cash slides in and clears, and the ball goes out for a West Ham throw. Villa 3, West Ham 1, 12 minutes remaining.
I'm surprised Moyes has. He got 4 nails, he got Ings, he got Ben Rama. I'm surprised he hasn't thrown on more attacking players.
Yeah, I wonder whether Thursday's got anything to do with that, and then the Premier League game the following week against Everton. Just trying to manage the European football, I'm not sure. Ball comes across to Zuma. West Ham has started well, of course, in the Europa League, won their first 2 group games. Diagonal ball looking for Antonio. Antonio up against Cash. He holds Cash off. Brilliant from Antonio. Making ground in the box. Oh, good hit. Martinez saves at the near post. Now that was from an even tighter angle than Watkins scored from moments ago. Tried to whip it in from about 3 yards up from the byline. Just went for power, and Martinez stood tall and firm and blocked it with his left arm. Free kick. West Ham wide on the right. They trail Villa by 3-1. That was really good work from Antonio.
It was. Sometimes you have to realise Cash got there, but he's trying to show strength against Antonio. It's a mismatch. Mikel Antonio wants to feel contact, but you're right, he does ever so well. There was no one in the box, but it's a good, comfortable save for Martinez, but good play from Mikel Antonio.
Free kick West Ham. They're not done just yet. 10 minutes remaining in the game. James Ward-Prowse stands over it. Not one he can shoot from. You wouldn't have thought, because it's wide of the penalty area on the right, and it's a good 30 yards from goal. Emi Martinez standing just inside his 6-yard box. All the other players lined up on the edge of the box. Ward-Prowse delivers. Martinez comes and claims it cleanly, and then throws himself acrobatically to the floor just to run the clock down a little bit more.
Yeah, Ward-Prowse has usually got better delivery than that, but credit to Martinez. He comes, he knows he's coming and getting it.
Martinez walks to the edge of his penalty area, taking his time still. He's going to kick the ball from hand, so one of those sort of sidewinder volley strikes that Diaby will give chase to all the way down the right. Puts Aguerd under pressure in the left back position. Aguerd sweeps a clearance away with his left foot. Douglas Luiz nods it down. Alvarez onto it for West Ham. Ward-Prowse plays it forward for Kudus. Kudus moving at speed from left to right across the Villa half. Finds Bowen. Bowen taking on Digne, looking for the crossing. Oh, that's deflected and onto the roof of the net, and that'll be a corner for West Ham.
Yeah, they're still coming, West Ham. They're still coming. Listen, if they score in the next 2 or 3 minutes, they make it really interesting. So Aston Villa have to keep it tight. And it's Bowen. Bowen's been there most likely, him and Paquetá with his delivery. But Bowen's power running is fantastic.
Another James Ward-Prowse corner on the way. Bounces the ball down twice on the turf. 4 or 5 steps back. Looks into the penalty area. Last one was right underneath the crossbar. That's where Zuma is waiting. Here it comes again to the near post, aimed at Zuma. Watkins gets his head on it. Alvarez battling for it. McGinn fashions a clearance on the volley over his shoulder, and out it goes for a throw-in to West Ham on the right. A win for Aston Villa, and they lead by 3-1. Takes them to 19 points after 9 games of this Premier League season. Having finished 7th in the Premier League last season as well. They've just kept building and going, and certainly here at Villa Park they are a force to be reckoned with. Watkins chasing a back pass down, and luckily for West Ham, Areola was in a good starting position there to get to the ball and clear it downfield. Paquetá jumps, but there's a foul there, or was it offside?
Offside, yeah, he come back from an offside position, yeah.
Free kick for Aston Villa. So coming up for them, Clinton, Luton at home in the Premier League next weekend, Nottingham Forest away, and then Fulham at home before the next international break.
There are games, and that's not being disrespectful to the teams there, that you're looking to get probably 9 points from.
Absolutely, for Villa they should be thinking that, shouldn't they? Martinez plays it forward to Douglas Luiz, force to be reckoned with, as I say, this season. Boubacar Kamara, freedom of Villa Park to just come striding through the Villa half. Curls a pass onto the boot of Luca Digne, making ground down the left. Said Ben Ramos looking down the touchline, trying to
He's
catch
been looking at David Moyes and his coaching staff for the last 20 minutes.
He's giving him those eyes, and Moyes is just steadfastly ignoring him, which makes me think that Ben Rama may well start in the Europa League on Thursday night. He's trudging, I would say, now back towards the West Ham technical area. Yuri Tielemans is a man who joined Villa in the summer, but is yet to start a game in the Premier League, and I think he's a little frustrated about that fact. He's going to get a late chance in this game.
He might come on for Diaby.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Pau Torres ball forward, headed down by Emerson. Ward-Prowse slips over the ball as he tries to control it, under pressure from Watkins. West Ham pass goes astray. Digne's onto it. 4 home games for Villa in the Premier League so far this season. They've now scored 16 goals, averaging 4 a game at home. 6 of those, of course, against Brighton in the big 6-1 win against Brighton, but still. Konza plays it back to Martinez. The olays from the Aston Villa fans. You can now hear going round the ground. Torres to Kamara, nearly given away by Villa. Douglas Luiz, that's a nice pass into the path of McGinn. McGinn brings it across the halfway line, then starts to take it into centre field. Antonio's chasing, brilliant from Antonio. McGinn didn't see him coming, slides in and nicks it off him. There's Bowen. Bowen tries to bring it out of his own half. He's fouled. West Ham win the free kick. Think about taking it quickly. Referee stops the game because here comes the change. Clinton is spot on. Moussa Diaby comes off. Yuri Tielemans comes on. What have you made of Moussa Diaby?
No, he's good. He was one of my standout players that I picked at the start of the season to have a good season. He want to get more goals to his game, but I think he's been a threat, and he should have probably had an assist from the first half when Ollie Watkins missed that chance. But he's had a good evening.
So Diaby off. His day's work is done. Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage waiting to take the calls. Not too long until 6:06. Then they'll hand over to the Formula One team tonight. Full commentary of the US Grand Prix from 8 o'clock tonight. Monday Night Club tomorrow night with Mark Chapman from 7 o'clock. Updates of Tottenham Fulham into that show, and then Champions League commentaries Tuesday and Wednesday night. Old Trafford on Tuesday night for Manchester United against FC Copenhagen. When Manchester United will have the chance at Old Trafford to say the fondest of farewells to one of their greatest ever servants, one of the greatest ever English footballers in Sir Bobby Charlton. Will be there for that. And then Newcastle Borussia Dortmund in full on Wednesday night on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Louise's ball to Leon Bailey, full of running, fresh off the bench. Bailey, socks rolled down, plays a 1-2 with Tielemans. Tielemans onto the ball for Villa, plays it back to Kamara. They exchange another 1-2, just keeping the ball away from...
Yeah, it's like a keep ball session.
Yeah. And just waiting to see, aren't they, if an opportunity presents
gaps
itself.
appear, you're right.
Because Watkins is hungry. I tell you, here he goes again, looking for the 1-2. Ball over the top from Louise, goes wide left to Digne. Digne's going to attempt a first time ball just over the head of Tielemans. Might fall to Kamara. Takes one touch. Shoot, they say at Villa Park. He decides not to. Leon Bailey does. And the shot goes skidding wide, and Areola always had that covered. Oh, and someone got a touch on it on the way through. Corner for Villa.
David Moyes don't think so. We didn't think so, but yeah, they've given corner.
Corner Aston Villa. David Moyes looking less than pleased, I would say, at the moment. And he's a man, of course, actually, as a former Manchester United manager, talking Bobby Charlton, will certainly have met Bobby Charlton.
Of course, when he was managing at Man United as well. He's a legend. You know, everyone uses these things loosely. Legend. He's a legend and an icon as well.
Totally.
So Bobby.
Yeah, and then the reaction for him today ahead of the game was
fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it
warm,
was.
heartwarming, spine-tingling. Just those chants that there's only one Bobby Charlton ringing around Villa Park from Villa fans and West Ham fans. There is a podcast, special podcast available on the BBC Sounds app, remembering the great Sir Bobby Charlton. Ball forward from Vladimir Sofal. Ironic cheers from the Villa fans because there's no one in a white West Ham shirt to collect that. It goes dribbling into the Villa penalty area. Emi Martinez picks it up. He waits for Danny Ings to close in. I didn't even see Danny Ings come onto the field, but he's out there.
He came on for Paquetá.
Thank you.
Yeah,
very
he was.
much.
It's just because you wouldn't have seen it because it was happening when Tielemans and he went off that far side.
Right, that's another Clinton Morrison assist. That's 2 assists, Clinton, in the game. Leon Bailey dribbling for Villa, scoops a little ball into the far post, looking for Watkins. Nearly found him. Cleared by West Ham, only as far as Kamara. Funny feeling they could get another here, Villa. They're leading 3-1, 89th minute of the game. West Ham just look there for the taking. Tielemans to Bailey, brilliant goal, top corner. That is a fabulous finish from Leon Bailey. Clever little step over through the defender and then just sweetly curled it beyond Areola. Another thumping home win for Aston Villa. Villa 4, West Ham 1.
Ali, you predicted it, mate. Yeah, Mystic Ali, by the way. Unbelievable. To be fair, Tielemans plays it into him, and Leon Bailey's not lively. It's a great little step over, comes to his left foot and bends it into that far corner. Fantastic goal. And Villa, they've been outstanding so far this afternoon and this evening.
They really, really have. And actually, the reaction of the West Ham players here tells you a lot. They look A, exhausted, and B, sort of hands on hips. What can we do? What can we do? Brilliant from Bailey. The body movement there, the swerve to get it back on the left foot. As soon as he got it onto that left foot, you knew where it was heading. Peachy finish from Leon Bailey.
It's competition for places. Yeah, he's probably saying I'm disappointed I'm not starting, but it's a great finish.
Home wins this season. Everton 4-0, Palace 3-1. Now in that game they were 1-0 down for a long time and scored 3 late goals. Brighton 6-1. And at this one they lead West Ham 4-1. And again, Rob Schofield in with a very good point that I wrote down in my notes, and I meant to say this today. Only Manchester City and Arsenal, in terms of this calendar year, Premier League football in 2023, have got more points than Aston Villa under Unai Emery.
Wow.
Yep.
They are cooking at the moment.
That's the word.
Yeah, they are cooking.
That's the word. Unai Emery's got the recipe and it's bubbling away beautifully on the stove. Still doesn't look entirely happy. No. Emery, does he?
Never.
No.
But that's a serial manager. He's always looking for better from his team.
Yeah, relentless work ethic from Unai Emery, always trying to prove himself. Long ball forward from the back for West Ham. Emi Martinez falls on it. Game was tight for a while this afternoon. West Ham got themselves back with the Jarrett Bowen goal, and at 2-1 they had some pressure at that point and some set pieces, but Aston Villa have pulled clear with a couple of really good strikes. Watch them on Match of the Day 2 tonight. Ollie Watkins with Villa's third goal, and Leon Bailey, both strikes with the left foot from different sides of the penalty area, but equally fabulous goals. Jason Mohammed in the team tonight. And Match of the Day 2, 10:30 BBC 1. Kamara to Konza. Cross it goes here to Pau Torres. Torres digs his left foot underneath the ball, goes long down the left hand side. Dini's fouled Sofal as they jump for it. Unai Emery's first win it will be over David Moyes in terms of their managerial battle. Saying that, there's only been 2 games between them. One of them last season was a 1-1 draw in the Premier League. The other one, remarkably, was in La Liga when David Moyes' Real Sociedad beat Emery's Sevilla by 4-3. But today it's Emery 4, Moyes 1. Here's Bowen on the right. Lines open for 6:06. Chris and Robbie waiting to take the call straight after the game. Here's Bowen, curling ball into the box. Matty Cash heads it away. Bailey clips it back to him on the half volley. Cash takes a touch, second touch as well, chased by Ings. Plays it back here to Konza. Ings stretches and tries to make that challenge up against former Villa teammates, of course. Floated ball. Oh, what a flip from Ollie Watkins. Knocks it into the path of Bailey. Wants it back from Bailey. Villa want a fifth. Here goes Watkins into the penalty area. Low cross. Areola leaps on it as if it's heading towards the far post. Cross was beyond Bailey, wasn't it?
It weren't a good cross from Watkins, but I must say the touch on the halfway line was outstanding. He takes Aguerd out of the game. The touch is fantastic. It just looked like a tired cross at the end of it.
Yeah.
It's brilliant from Watkins, because he could have just put it on a plate for John McGinn, but he's led the line brilliantly again this afternoon.
7 minutes of added time. We're into it. We've had 2 of them already. 08085 909 693 is the number to dial, and we've just seen the old Unai Emery hands up as well, which means slow it down. We've got it in the bag. Don't do anything silly. Kudus looking for the 1-2 here. Kudus shot, and Martinez saves. Got his angles correct there. Not enough power to beat him at the near post. It remains Villa 4, West Ham 1. So Emi Martinez back on his feet. Some of the Villa players are getting quite tired as well. They've got to go. This is the thing this season for both of these clubs, Clinton. Europe, exactly.
Yeah. West Ham are used to it last season.
You and I are on the side.
Yeah, we are.
Say that, yeah.
But Villa, it's different for the Villa players.
Yeah.
Really rotate, because they've lost. I think they've lost one. Lost one, haven't they?
1-1.
So so this game's a big game for them on Thursday night. Yeah,
that's right. That is a way to Alkmaar for Aston Villa. West Ham on the ball inside their own half. Zuma's pass, cross here to Aguerd. West Ham know their race is run today. Pablo Fornal's now off the bench for West Ham as well. Finds Emerson, back to Zuma. Here's Edson Alvarez looking for the lofted ball, wide right. Chased by Sofal, nodded down here to Bowen, who gave West Ham hope with that goal. Sofal's gone down holding his face. Referee has said play on for now. Alvarez with a bit of skill to get past Kamara, tackled by Tielemans.
Then he should have stopped it before. And now he stops it when Villa get the ball.
Yeah.
So I'm saying Coots, he's refed it well, but stop it when, West Ham have the ball, not when Villa then break it. Because he was down for a bit and he stopped it way early for Zaniolo.
He's holding his jaw. Digne and Sofal jumping for the ball. It's just an arm that's come across him. Wonder if it's just a bit of West Ham pride has been a little bit stung as well, and Vladimir Sofal is thinking, do you know what, enough's enough, I'll take a breather. Villa 4, West Ham 1, treatment coming for Sofal. So get those calls in if you've got something to say to Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage tonight. Villa fans will be cock-a-hoop. I don't think West Ham, I mean, they've been well beaten today, Clinton. I don't think they'll be too disappointed though with their start to the season, will they?
No, they won't be disappointed, but these two teams are probably West Ham are where they want to be, not where they want to be, where Villa are at the moment,
Sure.
and that's where they're kind of, I think they're not far apart though. I do not think they're far apart, but Villa going forward, at home in particular, have been outstanding, and they've got players that, as I said, we spoke about earlier, Watkins is, I think, the difference maker because he puts the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
And out number 9 who wants to score goals.
Yeah, absolutely. 8 to his name so far this season. A best return for Villa of 16 goals in all competitions, which he did in his first season at the club, and he did it last season.
He beats that this season.
Okay.
And you know what? He should probably have about, he'd be the first to say, probably 12 goals already.
Yeah.
But look at the one in the first half as well. So, and he started off a bit slow this season.
The other thing as well, Clinton, we're just waiting for Sofal to get back on his feet. You know, scored the winner against Australia in the friendly for England. So Gareth Southgate's going to be thinking, I want this fella fitting him forward.
Well, he's got to think, I've got to keep scoring goals because they've got Callum Wilson.
Yeah.
He'll have Ivan Toney to come back.
Yeah.
And he got, obviously, Harry Kane's the one.
Yeah.
He's got Nketiah that there.
Rashford,
and these are all
who
number
I know-
9s as
yeah.
well. So, he knows he's going to have to keep on going. So, it's going to be hard, but he's got a great chance of going to the Euros if he keeps doing what he's doing.
Couple of minutes to play. We chatted a lot about Ollie Watkins and Jared Bowen ahead of the game today. Both have been on the score sheet today. It's Villa who are going to come out on top. Douglas Luiz striding forward. John McGinn still full of running for Aston Villa, looking for the 5th goal. Wide on the left. Stops for a second. Everything seems to stop, and then McGinn plays it well back to Kamara. Cross to Matty Cash. Matty Cash in the inside right channel goes wider to Leon Bailey, who scored that 4th goal. Back it comes to Cash again, just toying with the West Ham defenders at the moment. Bailey to Cash. Cash turns on the ball. It's going to play back into his own half to Ezri Konsa. Danny Ings not even really chasing that at the moment, just comes jogging across the Villa half. The West Ham away section is pretty much emptied as well. Fairly miserable afternoon for them.
See, when it's 7 minutes out, I know you have to play the at 7 minutes, but sometimes you think, should we just blow up early?
Time here, yeah, Watkins turns it round the corner. I bet Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage are sitting there thinking, come on,
listen, you're eating into my time.
Exactly.
And we know Sav loves his time as well. Having known him for years, Sav loves his airtime.
You know the egos on those two, don't you?
Oh, both of them, definitely.
4-1, 7 minutes of added time.
But it's a good listen. It's a very good listen.
Oh,
I will be listening on the way home.
Me too. Kamara to Douglas Luiz. Luiz has got Kudus behind him. So because Sofal went down with the head injury, we're going to play another couple of minutes as well, with Villa comfortably home and hosed. Villa going 5th in this Premier League table, just a point behind Tottenham and Liverpool. But Tottenham at home to Fulham tomorrow night. Villa Park rises to its feet. Another fantastic home performance. An 11th home win in a row in the Premier League under Unai Emery. They were 2-0 in front early in the second half. West Ham packed them back. But I tell you what, Clinton Morrison, the goals from Ollie Watkins and Leon Bailey to seal the win are what this Villa team is all about. They're lethal going forward.
They are, and they got pace in the front areas. And when you got pace in the front areas, it causes defenders all kinds of problems. Defenders do not like playing against players that have got pace. They don't like running to their own goal, and that's what Zuma was doing. Brilliant goal from Watkins, full of confidence after his goal for England in the midweek against Australia, the winner. And Bailey comes on and says, I want to start games, and proves a point. And that's what you want. Competition for places. Aston Villa are flying at the moment.
Yeah, they keep that run going. 4 home games in the Premier League this season. They've won all 4 of them. They have scored 17 goals in the process. And Luton have got to come here and try and stop them next weekend. Not to be for David Moyes. He trudges off down the sideline, head down. It's finished here at Villa Park. Aston Villa 4, West Ham 1. 6:06 on the way here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
Guys, I'm just going to read you some numbers. I wouldn't normally do this, but the numbers around Aston Villa are absolutely astonishing. Ali's just given it there. 11 straight home wins in the Premier League. They've won every home Premier League game this season, obviously, but listen to the goal difference. Manchester City at home this season scored 10, conceded 2. So that's +8. Aston Villa scored 17, conceded 3. +14. More numbers. Ollie Watkins, that is 21 Aston Villa goals for him in 2023. He and they, Clinton, are going places.
Yeah, they're flying, and it's one man you can put the finger on, and that's Unai Emery. He's been outstanding since he's come into the football club, and he's a winner. He's a born winner. Everywhere he goes, he wins things, Unai Emery, and the players are buying into what he's doing on the training pitch, and they're taking that onto the football pitch here every weekend and during the midweeks, and they're delivering. But yeah, they were quality today. They showed quality, and when you've got a player like Ollie Watkins who can score goals, and people like Leon Bailey that comes off the bench, and special mention Douglas Luiz, I think he's an outstanding midfielder.
Ollie Watkins is blowing kisses to the Aston Villa fans and giving a big high five to the coaching staff as he gets ready to make his way down the tunnel here at Villa Park. Ali, I'm not prone to hyperbole, or at least I hope I'm not, but watching that Watkins goal, the way he drifted and then slammed it in the roof of the net, it did remind me of Harry Kane.
Yeah, I've seen him score loads like that. You're absolutely right. But it's that thing, isn't it? We were saying at the start of the game, Steve, that Unai Emery has improved someone who was already a very good player. But because the goals are flying in, you can just see the confidence coursing through his veins. And I think what was interesting watching that goal, Steve, was there was a bit of pressure on Villa at the time, but you could see Watkins, even before McGinn played the pass, he knew it was on straight away. He knew he was going to get away from Zuma. He knew exactly what he was going to do, where he was going to try and put it, and he pulled it off to a tee. And at the moment, the way he's playing, it's coming off for him every single time. There's still room for improvement, Steve. I mean, as Clinton was saying, there should have been more goals this season. And late on, when they were looking for the fifth, lovely little 1-2 with Bailey, but just didn't get that cross right in for Bailey. So, you know, I would say someone like Harry Kane, I would imagine that ball would be right from Harry Kane. So that's what Watkins has got to aim at. But I mean, Unai Emery must be loving the performances he is putting in for this team week in and week out.
So their 4 home games this season in the Premier League, they have scored 4, 6, 3 and 4, which is astonishing. And maybe Clinton, and Ali alluded to it just before the full-time whistle, maybe that means David Moyes and West Ham can just kind of put this one away and move on. You know, if Brighton can concede 6 goals here, then they can concede 4 and not necessarily need a big inquest.
No, he'll be disappointed, obviously, how the goals went in, but you're right. Aston Villa have been doing this to a lot of teams this season, and they're fantastic. Once they get ahead of steam and these fans get behind them, they're on the front foot, they cause problems. And as Ali said, it could have been more goals. Ariola's made some good saves. As I said, Ollie Watkins had a big chance in that first half. They just attack at will, and obviously they've got the fans behind them, but they've got good players, and they've got players that can come off the bench and make an impact, and it just looks like there's a good feeling here at Aston Villa, and I must say that's probably down to Unai Emery at the moment.
There's sweet Caroline again. I wondered how long it would be before she piped up.
I could hear it. I was going to say, me and Ali are not dancing to it, so don't worry about that. We're not singing along. We're being very professional.
I would expect nothing less. Thank you very much, guys. Ali Breezeball and Clinton Morrison. Another huge 3 points for Aston Villa, beating West Ham by 4-1. Loads of great football stories to get your teeth into this afternoon, and you can call right now 08085 909 693 to speak to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. 606 with you, the other side of the BBC News on 5 Live.
Listen on BBC Sounds.